Chapter 14:12. Then he summoned a hairpin resembling a purple jade butterfly and launched it to attack the old demon Xianxia. Boom, 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 the black iron fist and dark golden iron tower brutally suppressed, shattering the webs like a celestial curtain, and the freshly solidified purple sky spider, causing them to explode and dim continuously. However, at that moment he seemed to see a dreamlike butterfly. Momentarily dazed, his protective spiritual light was pierced by the purple jade butterfly hairpin, and a drop of scarlet blood oozed from his brow. "You bitch, how dare you hurt me?" The old demon Xianxia woke instantly, eyes glaring angrily, fierce light bursting forth, and his mountainous physique erupted into blazing demon flames, with a surging momentum sweeping across a vast expanse of the heavenly dome. Just now, in a moment of carelessness, he sensed a trace of deadly danger, causing an overwhelming fury within him, anger unrestrained. Boom, boom, boom. All the dormant chi and blood magical power within him exploded at this moment, making his 10 feet tall body rise even higher, with each movement seemingly causing the space to explode, filled with a brutal killing aura. "You bitch, die for me." The giant let out a long howl to the sky, with boundless violent fierceness flooding his mind, occupying his thoughts, and attacked Nangong melee. Bang, bang, bang. The power was fierce. The ethereal purple sky spider under the old demon Xianxia's offensive retreated repeatedly, then disintegrated like sand, causing Nangong melee to groan softly, with blood seeping from the corner of her mouth. Damn. Nangong melee's face was somewhat pale, her phoenix eyes extremely cold, feeling suffocated and angry. If her life-bound heavenly spider was still present, it wouldn't be like this. Moreover, that damned man still hasn't arrived. "Bitch, I'm going to kill you." Xianxia True Man's massive body burned with a layer of blazing demon flames, a frenzied violent and chilling murderous intent surging like a tide towards Nangong melee. Whoosh! Nangong melee realized Xianxia's old demon state was not right, immediately turned and left, temporarily avoiding the sharp edge. "Where do you think you're going, bitch?" The old demon Xianxia, like a demon god of purgatory, tore through the void, raising violent aura like a dragon, and reached Nangong melee. Bang, bang, bang. The black giant fist shattered layers of void. The dark golden iron tower bore down from the heavenly dome like a mountain, exuding endless suppressive aura. Whoosh! Nangong melee managed to avoid it, but still felt her chi and blood magical power surging turbulently, letting out a muffled groan. Boom, boom, boom. The old demon Xianxia continued his assault, the visible force gathered in his fists, violently rampant, with each punch seeming to carry endless fierce beasts roaring, forcing Nangong melee to retreat step by step, spitting blood. If Lu Chuanzhen weren't in the hands of the old demon Xianxia, Nangong melee would have departed by now. After all, she could tell Lu Quanzhen's situation was extremely dire. If she detached and left now and Xianxia's old demon disappeared afterward, it would not be easy to find him and Lu Chuanzhen again. "Just wait a little longer. If that damned man still doesn't come, don't blame me." Nangong melee's beautiful eyes were icy cold, thinking to herself, for the sake of her daughter, she's willing to help. But she'll never sacrifice herself. Boom, boom, boom. The two continued their combat. At this moment, Nangong melee was completely no match for Xianxia True Man, her face extremely pale, ready to leave. If she continued to drag this on, she herself would be in danger. Just then, both sensed a surging and astonishing demon aura rolling towards this direction. Demon aura? Both were somewhat puzzled, unsure why such a massive demon aura appeared here. Could it be that damned man has come? Nangong melee pondered to herself. Previously, she heard her daughter mention Lu Changxing had a third-rank ping bird, suspecting that the golden ping bird she saw at the border was indeed Lu Changxing's mount. A few breaths later, she saw a golden rainbow shooting across, speeding swiftly, its momentum rushing fiercely. That damned man finally came. Although the golden-winged heavenly pung's speed was incredibly swift as a nascent soul immortal, she barely made out the figure standing on it. Even though she had guessed before, seeing this familiar golden-winged heavenly pung, Nangong melee was still extremely surprised. After all, to use such a demon king as a mode of transport, one should be at least a core formation peak existence, right? But Lu Changxing had just recently broken through core formation. Considering Lu Changxing's various circumstances, Nangong melee no longer used common sense to measure him, feeling a surge of relaxed joy in her heart, and an unprecedented sense of security. The old demon Xianxia's mind, full of violent aura, cleared slightly under this overwhelming demon aura with reason prevailing. Seeing Nangong melee's expression, he immediately realized something was wrong. Leave. Without hesitation, he decisively planned to escape. After all, the spiritual pressure exuded by this vast demon aura had reached the third-rank late stage. If it came to a fight, he would be entirely outmatched. Xianxia grasp. An indifferent voice rang out. Then, the winds and clouds on the heavenly dome churned, revealing a gigantic hand imprint intertwined with yin and yang, 100 meters wide, rolling down. Not good. Being a loose cultivator, able to rampage for so long, the old demon Xianxia was indeed extraordinary. His muscles rippled as if made of piled rocks, exuding endless power, directly breaking through the suppression of the Xianxia grasp. Golden Peng. Lu Changsheng's expression was indifferent. His robes fluttered as he rode the golden-winged heavenly Peng towards the old demon Xianxia. Who? The old demon Zenshin's prideful physical body was pierced at this moment by the golden-winged heavenly Peng's wing, carving a deep scar, with blood splattered across the sky. This. Even though Nangong Meili knew the strength of such a demon king was terrifying, she was still startled by this scene. With such a demon king, Lu Changxing could probably fight even a late-stage core formation great cultivator. Given the strength and methods of the opponent, perhaps even late-stage core formation cultivators are not his match. Who are you, sir? What offense have I committed against you? The old demon Xianxia, though suspecting Lu Changxing was aligned with Nangong Meili, still felt baffled. Unaware of when Jin Kingdom produced such an existence. Lu Changxing remained silent. The golden-winged heavenly Peng let out a screech, continued to attack the old demon Xianxia, and carved another deep wound on his chest. More blood spilled. Boom. Meanwhile, the Xianxia grasp rolled downwards, directly subduing and suppressing the recently domineering old demon Xianxia. His bones crackled, and his mouth let out a painful sound. Meili, are you all right? Lu Changxing turned to Nangong Meili beside him, instantly noticing her mana was disordered, having suffered significant injuries, gently asking with concern. He's yours to deal with. Lu Changxing casually threw the old demon Xianxia to Nangong Meili. Then he reached out, and from the dark golden iron tower, the pale and agonized Lu Chuanjin was drawn before him. Chuanjin. Lu Changxing gazed at Lu Chuanjin before him with a solemn face. Father? Lu Quanzhen's consciousness was gradually fading. But upon hearing the familiar voice, seeing the familiar dark brocade robe before him, he recognized the scholarly gentleman before him as his father right away. Although unsure why his father appeared here, seeing Lu Changxing, his tense mind relaxed slightly, and he suddenly fainted. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1413. Lu Changxing looked at the unconscious Lu Chuanjin, his brow furrowed. The situation was very serious. His meridians, dantian, limbs and bones were all filled with chaotic, violent, cold and fierce energy. This energy not only eroded Lu Quanzhen's flesh and mana but also polluted his sea of consciousness and soul. Lu Changxing immediately understood why Lu Quanzhen's cultivation level had broken through so quickly. By using demonic techniques to devour various chaotic energies, he stimulated and squeezed his life potential, thus madly enhancing his cultivation realm. The consequences were chaotic mana, a flimsy foundation, unstable realm, and a tendency toward deviation. Besides these problems, Lu Chuanjin was also severely injured, having used the life-burning secret technique, which led to a deficit in essence blood and damaged his foundation. The Tao foundation in his Qi ocean core was dim and dull, polluted by wisps of blood fiend, with several cracks faintly visible. Boom. Without hesitation, Lu Changxing ran the yin-yang creation scripture to sort and suppress the chaotic and violent energies and mana within Lu Chuanjin. At his chest, the 9 treasures Rui bone radiated, bursting with brilliant glow as mysterious runes intertwined and flowed, containing an indescribable vast secret power, pouring into Lu Quanzhen's body. This is... Nangong Meili, standing beside him, was surprised to see the vast might and dense vitality emanating from Lu Changxing's chest. She never expected Lu Changxing to have such means. It was known that cultivators skilled in combat techniques rarely cultivate healing divine skills. One reason was that cultivation techniques were incompatible, difficult to master, and even if mastered they were not very effective. Another reason was that one's time and energy were limited, making it impossible to cultivate too many divine skills. Though she couldn't discern the specifics of Lu Changxing's divine skill, she could tell from the interwoven and blossoming brilliant runes and the pervasive, vast chi mechanism that it was extraordinary. How many tricks does this wretched man have? Nangong Mili thought to herself, feeling that Lu Changxing was shrouded in mystery. Moments later, Lu Changxing exhaled deeply and stopped the operation of the 9 treasures Rui Bone. Lu Quanzhen's situation was very serious. Even he could only temporarily restrain it, unable to fully resolve it. How is it? Nangong Mili, with a cool and alluring demeanor, asked aloud. Even though she had no feelings for Lu Chuanzhen. As a mother, knowing her child was severely injured, she knew how anxious one would be. The situation is quite serious, needs to be slowly resolved. Lu Changxing said solemnly. Lu Quanzhen's situation could only be gradually adjusted. Unless he happened to acquire heavenly and earthly treasures specifically for this, it couldn't be resolved in a short time. Then he held Nangong Mili's jade wrist, expressing concern. Mili, are you all right? If Nangong Mili hadn't arrived early today to hold off the tremor old demon, afterward his son Lu Chuanzhen would have been rendered a ruined man even if he didn't die. Nangong Mili instinctively tried to shake off Lu Changxing. But failing to do so, she let him hold her, saying with a cool and noble expression, "I'm fine." Lu Changxing saw that Nangong Mili indeed had no major issues, only minor injuries along with chi blood shocks and mana disturbances. Yet to express gratitude he activated the 9 treasures Rui Bone. Boom! Brilliant light flared, runes blossomed, interwoven a dense vitality secret power flowing toward Nangong Mili. The milky green healing divine light rippled. Nangong Mili immediately felt a nurturing and comforting warmth akin to being in the womb, as if soaking in a hot spring, her body and mind relaxing tremendously. The disturbed chi and blood magical power and the Bodis injuries were repaired and purified. This wretched man actually doesn't only focus on his son. Nangong Mili felt a bit delighted, remembering her daughter Nangong Yaoyao's words. As long as she was willing to take a step back, lower her stance, Lu Changxing would also take a step back, lower his stance. No need for this, I can recover on my own in a few days. Nangong Mili said coldly, her voice indifferent but not entirely dismissive. Even though she was willing to step back and ease relations, she still couldn't directly lower her stance and show Lu Changxing a good face. No worries. Lu Changxing knew she was the type who had pride despite her actions contradicting her words, and continued to nurture her. After it was almost done he stopped, slightly exhaustedly exhaling. Using the healing divine light consumed him as well. Man-wise, thanks to the Tianyuan Supreme King Lotus, it wasn't a major issue. But using such a divine skill also depleted his essence energy. Mili, what just happened? Why was Chuanzhen in this person's hands? Lu Changxing asked Nangong Mili about the earlier situation. Through previous investigations, he had learned that the giant before him was the tremor old demon. But wasn't his son being pursued by the ghost demon True Master? Why was he in the tremor old demon's hands? I don't know either. Nangong Mili's tone and attitude improved slightly when speaking to Lu Changxing, explaining that when she arrived, Lu Chuanzhen was already captured by the tremor old demon. It seemed that Lu Chuanzhen had escaped the ghost demon True Master's grasp only to encounter the tremor old demon. Where is the ghost demon True Master? Lu Changxing's eyes deepened, exuding a cold, murderous intent. Lu Quanzhen's plight was inseparable from that person. This debt he would naturally settle with him. At that time, the ghost demon True Master was being chased by the tremor old demon. It was her first time seeing Lu Changxing angry, and for some reason, Nangong Mili felt a surge of inexplicable emotion. Her heart trembled. This man wasn't devoid of temper. He simply didn't get angry easily under normal circumstances. If she truly enraged him, how would she be treated? Nangong Mili suddenly wondered. The ghost demon True Master was injured considerably. Heres a high likelihood Hell returned to the Yiming ghost sect to heal. Nangong Mili said. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1414, Yiming Ghost Sect. Lu Changxing's eyes narrowed slightly. Although the Yiming Ghost Sect doesn't have a nascent soul true lord to oversee them, the sect has the supreme treasure, myriad ghosts blood pool to stabilize their foundation. And the supreme elder of Yiming Ghost Sect is already at the core formation peak, just one step away from advancing to the nascent soul. Don't be impulsive. Nangong Mili seemed worried that Lu Changxing might directly go to the Yiming Ghost Sect to cause trouble and immediately spoke up. Don't worry. Lu Changxing smiled and looked at the old demon Jin Tian, asking, "What do you plan to do with this person?" "Humph, killing him easily would be too cheap for him. First, take him back as a blood slave, cultivate goo insects from him, and once his potential is exhausted, sell him to the Heavenly Corpse sect for corpse refinement." Nangong Meili spoke coldly, her phoenix eyes filled with malice. When the opponent fought with her, he called her a lowly wench, and she naturally held that in her heart, not letting him off easily. Lu Changxing, indeed the demon path is just that. Even if this woman shows tenderness and care in front of her daughter, being gentle like water, she is ultimately a demoness of the demon path, known as a femme fatale, ruthless and merciless. But in these matters he couldn't really persuade her. After all, according to the principle of making full use of things, her actions didn't seem wrong, just a bit cruel to hear. And in his early years, he too had fed his six-winged golden silkworm with corpses, abyssal ghoul blossoms. However, hearing about corpse refinement, he thought of the endless guileful head in his own corpse bag. This old demon Jin Tian with core formation cultivation and third-rank body refining, if refined into a ghost slave, would have considerable combat power. Let's go back first. Lu Changxing took Nangong Meili's jade hand, bringing the fainted Lu Chuanjin onto the back of the golden-winged heavenly peng, preparing to go back to treat Lu Quanzhen's body. Nangong Meili came onto the golden-winged heavenly peng, feeling somewhat nervous and uneasy. After all, this was a third-rank demon king. A demon king that had suppressed the old demon Jin Tian with just one move. And now, she was actually using such a demon king as a means of transportation. Nangong Meili slightly tilted her head, her beautiful phoenix eyes glancing at the elegantly handsome Lu Changxing, feeling that his tall and upright figure seemed to have grown even more magnificent. However, this man's true appearance is indeed quite handsome. Let's go. Lu Changxing noticed Nangong Meili's gaze, smiled, and signaled the golden-winged heavenly peng to return to the immortal spider marketplace. Then he continued to use the yin-yang creation scripture to sort out Lu Quanzhen's condition. The situation of the other person was extremely troublesome. Not only were his meridians and physical body filled with violent and chaotic energy. His Tao Foundation, Qi Ocean Core were also polluted, the mana was icy and ferocious, unable to nourish the body, even constantly damaging the meridians and physical body. Let me see his condition. At this moment, Nangong Meili's red lips parted lightly and she spoke. She was from the Five Poisons cult, skilled in unorthodox techniques, and saw the cold and vicious qi flowing through Lu Quanzhen's body, wondering if she could resolve it. All right. Lu Changxing nodded. As soon as Nangong Meili examined Lu Quanzhen's body, she frowned slightly. She knew the situation was bad, but she didn't expect it to be this dire. If not for the rich vitality continuously nourishing his body, he probably wouldn't last a few days. When she saw Lu Quanzhen's Qi Ocean Core, her eyebrows furrowed even more. This mana. Why does it resemble the netherworld blood evil technique of the ghost demon true master? Nangong Meili saw that Lu Quanzhen's mana was completely incompatible with his cultivation technique, both icy and extremely vicious. At this moment she furrowed her brows again, realizing something amiss. Even though Lu Quanzhen's foundation was unstable and his state very poor, his cultivation level was clearly at the 9th level foundation establishment. But she remembered that according to the intelligence he was only at the foundation establishment middle stage, having just broken through to the 4th layer not long ago? How did he suddenly break through from the foundation establishment 4th layer to the 9th level foundation establishment? His situation seems like someone transmitted their cultivation to him, forcefully raising his level, which resulted in deviation, followed by using a life-burning secret technique, leaving him heavily injured. Nangong Meili's eyebrows knit tightly, explaining her assessment. But in her view, Lu Quanzhen's situation didn't seem like someone transmitted their cultivation to him. Transmitting cultivation, netherworld blood evil technique? Lu Changxing roughly guessed that his son had fallen into the hands of the ghost demon true master, who, in order to escape and increase his strength, had used the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique to devour a massive amount of netherworld blood evil energy. This also explained why his mana was chaotic, ferocious, and filled with blood evil energy. Meili, do you have any solutions? Lu Changxing inquired. The Five Poisons cult has a type of goo insect called blood-like goo, which feeds on blood evil, and might temporarily relieve his condition. There's also a goo insect called flesh white bone, which can constantly provide nourishment and heal his flesh injuries, but resolving this completely would be difficult. Nangong Meili shook her head. Does the Yiming ghost sect have a method for this? Lu Changxing's eyes narrowed slightly as he continued to ask. His son falling to this state was linked to the ghost demon True Master, and perhaps they had a way to resolve it. Nangong merely looked at Lu Changxing, paused for a moment, then spoke with her red lips slightly parted. His mana is similar to the Netherworld Blood Evil technique. The Yiming Ghost sect might have secret medicines or techniques to assist in this cultivation method, possibly easing the condition, but am not sure. I understand. Lu Changxing nodded his head. Nangong merely looked at Lu Changxing, hesitated for a moment, and then spoke in an indifferent tone. I can go to the Yiming Ghost sect later to see if I can obtain some information. There's no rush. Lu Changxing shook his head, not wanting to trouble Nangong merely. As he understood, although the three great demonic sects of the Jin Kingdom had interactions and collaborations, their relationship was only average. If Nangong merely went to the Yiming Ghost sect, they would naturally show her some courtesy. But when it comes to the inheritance of cultivation techniques, it might not be that simple. So he planned to wait until his son woke up to discuss it further. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14-15, Lu Lang. Immortal Spider Marketplace. Meng Xiaochan saw Lu Changxing return, and immediately called out. She then reported information about Lu Chuanjin and Ghost Demon True Master, stating that her master had gone out to find Ghost Demon True Master a few days ago. I already know. Lu Changxing spoke, indicating that he had already found Lu Chuanjin and just parted ways with Nangong Mili. Xiaochan, is there a second-rank alchemy room here? He inquired aloud, intending to open a furnace to refine pills for Lu Chuanjin to address the situation. There is. Meng Xiaochan didn't know why Lu Changxing was asking this, but still nodded in response. Immediately, Lu Changxing asked Meng Xiaochan to help him gather some spiritual medicine, then released Lu Chuanjin from the Tianyuan lotus to continue nurturing and healing his body. Lu Quanzhen's vitality was stabilized now. The only problem was his sea of consciousness soul being corroded by Blood Fiend, which was very troublesome. Even if Lu Changxing wanted to resolve it, he had to be extremely cautious. Several days later, Nangong Mili arrived at the Immortal Spider Marketplace and was somewhat surprised to see Lu Changxing practicing alchemy. Although she had previously read the information and knew Lu Changxing was a second-rank alchemist, she noticed that Lu Changxing's technique was unlike ordinary second-rank alchemists. However, thinking of Lu Changxing's various methods, having such alchemy skills seemed unremarkable. This is blood-like goo and flesh-white bone, they only need simple refinement before they can be implanted into him. Nangong Mili, dressed in a purple skirt, gracefully tossed 2 goo jars to Lu Changxing, her expression cold and beautiful. Thank you for your hard work, Mili. Lu Changxing smiled faintly and opened the goo jars. Then, with a subtle mental movement, a pink peach blossom mark appeared on his forehead, refining the goo insects in his hand. During this process, the disguise on his face also automatically disappeared. Huh? Nangong Mili saw the peach blossom mark on Lu Changxing's forehead, feeling an inexplicable tremor in her heart, and the goo insects inside her quivered. So this is the goo insect of this awful man? Nangong Mili had long known that Lu Changxing harbored a powerful goo insect within. But she didn't know what kind of goo insect it was. Now, seeing the pink peach petal on Lu Changxing's forehead, she realized that this was his goo insect. What kind of goo is this? Yet it really is like him, like a peach blossom spirit. Nangong Mili saw that his handsome face had an added touch of wicked charm, internally cursing. But for some reason she found this appearance unusually pleasing to the eye. Even more than the previous look, resembling a banished immortal descending to the mundane world. Lu Changxing didn't pay attention to Nangong Mili's gaze, refining the 2 goo insects in his hand. These were merely second-rank goo insects. With the will of the peach blossom goo suppressing them, combined with his yin-yang magic power and Tai divine soul, they were refined in a moment. Then, with a slight mental gesture, he infused the 2 goo insects into Lu Quanzhen's body. Buzz. As soon as the blood-like goo entered Lu Quanzhen's sea of consciousness, it began to absorb the blood fiend intent within. This blood fiend chi was extremely troublesome. Even Lu Changxing had to be cautious in dispersing it. Yet this blood-like goo was able to absorb the blood fiend aura from his sea of consciousness without harming Lu Quanzhen's soul. At the same time, flesh-white bone began to flow with medicinal power, constantly nourishing Lu Quanzhen's condition. These goo insects indeed have their merits. Lu Changxing nodded silently. He thought to himself that among the 100 arts of cultivation, goo insects could form a distinct path, and there were indeed many goo cultivators with some substantial capabilities. Immediately afterward, he placed a peaceful spirit talisman on Lu Quanzhen's forehead. Puff! Several days later, under Lu Changsheng's treatment, Lu Chuanzhen suddenly coughed up a spurt of foul blood and regained consciousness. Father? He opened his blood-reddened eyes, looking at the Lu Changsheng in front of him, appearing somewhat dazed and confused, almost believing he was dreaming. Chuanzhen. Lu Changsheng looked at the pale complexion, gray-white hair and blood-red eyes of Lu Chuanzhen, filled with blood-fiend intent, feeling a heaviness in his heart. Father, is it really you? Lu Chuanzhen was still somewhat incredulous. Although before losing consciousness he seemed to have seen Lu Changsheng. But he vaguely remembered falling into the hands of the earth-shaking old demon. This person's name was known to him, even stronger than the ghost demon True Master. How did Father save him from the earth-shaking old demon? It seemed like there was a golden light? He recalled the situation at that time, only remembering a brilliantly dazzling golden light spreading, and a majestic demon aura. Then the earth-shaking old demon seemed to let out a tragic wail? It is me. Lu Changsheng nodded, then asked in a deep voice, how did you end up like this? Lu Chuanzhen felt his entire situation, then calmed his mind and spoke aloud. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14-16. Lu Chuanzhen truthfully recounted his encounter. He met the ghost demon True Master, got trapped in the netherworld blood evil gourd, and then chose to cultivate the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique. I knew there was a problem with this cultivation technique, but I didn't expect it to be like this. Cough, cough, cough. Lu Quanzhen's face was pale and extremely weak, coughing violently several times. At first, relying on the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique secret technique, he survived by a stroke of luck in the Black Mist Swamp, thinking he had some control over this demonic technique. But he didn't expect the cultivation technique to be so overpowering, completely out of his control. Of course, if he were given another chance he would still make the same choice. Because at that time he had no other choice but this one method. If it weren't for the encounter with the shocking heaven old demon, he might have really escaped from the ghost demon True Master's hands. But speaking of it, if it weren't for the shocking heaven old demon, he might not have had the chance to escape at all. Upon hearing this, Lu Changsheng sighed softly, not knowing what to say. After a pause he asked, does your cultivation technique have a solution to this problem? It's rather difficult. Lu Chuanzhen shook his head with a bitter smile. If it was just relying on the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique to break through to the 6th layer of foundation establishment, or even the 7th layer, he still had confidence to resolve it. He could slowly reconcile by using heavenly and earthly treasures, cultivation technique secret elixirs, and the yin-yang 5 elements Kunping technique, refining the violent chaotic energy, and baptizing his Tao foundation and mana. But leaping to the 9th layer of foundation establishment in one go, absorbing too much netherworld blood evil, caused the cultivation technique to go out of control, with physical body cultivation technique and mana repelling each other. Moreover, he was now in an extremely poor state, with his physical body and foundation damaged, polluted by the blood evil, making it difficult to cultivate. Explain this cultivation technique to me in detail. Lu Changsheng pondered slightly. He had heard Lu Chuanzhen mention this cultivation technique in the past, but wasn't clear on the specifics. Now, looking at the other person's situation, he wanted to see if the problem could be fundamentally resolved. Yes, Father? Lu Chuanzhen didn't hide anything and explained the Kunping devouring heaven demon god technique in detail. Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique. Lu Changsheng frowned slightly, thinking to himself that this cultivation technique was indeed a thorough demonic technique. By devouring all things in the world and living beings' origin sources to elevate oneself, it presented no solutions, only mitigation and reconciliation methods. The whole cultivation process could be described as 9 deaths and 1 life, depending on whether one's fate was strong enough. However, without cultivating the Kunping devouring heaven demonic technique, just cultivating the yin-yang 5 elements Kunping technique, it was also a top-level cultivation technique. Father, how come you are in the Jin kingdom? Seeing his father silent, Lu Chuanzhen felt somewhat ashamed and softly asked. He recalled that when he fell into the hands of the shocking heaven old demon, a female cultivator in core formation came, seemingly the heavenly spider True Master from the 5 Poisons cult. But he really didn't know when his father appeared. Besides, Jiang country and Jin kingdom were far apart. How did his father come to Jin kingdom? I happen to have some matters in Jin kingdom, and upon hearing news of your situation, I sent people to investigate your whereabouts. Lu Changxing looked at him and said, "You should rest well first, we can talk about things later." Seeing his son was still very weak, Lu Changxing did not talk much further. He handed a bottle of elixirs to him, advising to take 2 daily, then left the room, pondering how to solve Lu Quanzhen's problem. Letting his son live was naturally not difficult. As long as he helped him sort out mana periodically and nurtured the physical body, there would be no major issue. But if his son's condition couldn't be resolved, it would be tantamount to being semi-crippled, unable to cultivate further. Besides the blood evil foundation issue, he also faced a big issue: lifespan. Name: Lu Quanzhen. Lifespan: 60-69, talent, 4th grade spiritual root, cultivation level, foundation establishment 9th layer, talent, combat law compatibility 69%. Lu Quanzhen only had a lifespan of less than 100 when he broke through to the 9th layer of foundation establishment. After being heavily injured, having used the life-burning method, his lifespan was further reduced to only 9 years. Moreover, he had consumed lifespan extension pills in his early years. Now, if he wanted to continue extending his lifespan, he would have to consume 3rd-rank lifespan extension pills or some rare spiritual medicine for extension. But without solving his situation, even obtaining 3rd-rank lifespan extension pills would merely treat the symptoms, not the root cause. To untie the bell, the person who tied it must do it. Looks like I have to visit the Yiming Ghost sect. After pondering for a long time, Lu Changxing decided to visit the Yiming Ghost sect later, to see if the Yiming Ghost sect had a way to fundamentally resolve the netherworld blood evil. Theoretically, as long as the netherworld blood evil could be perfectly controlled, he could help Lu Quanzhen reconcile the cultivation technique, then find a way to repair the foundational Dao injuries. Regarding lifespan, as long as Lu Quanzhen's foundational Dao injuries could be resolved, he would have the hope of impacting core formation. As long as he broke through to core formation, lifespan effects, though existent, wouldn't be very significant. 6 days later, Lu Quanzhen's injuries had slightly alleviated, allowing him to move normally though he still appeared very weak. "Let's go, I will take you to seek an explanation." Lu Changxing immediately took Lu Quanzhen to find Meng Xiaochan, indicating he was going out for a while. Huh? Lu Quanzhen's pupils contracted sharply upon seeing Meng Xiaochan in front, with a look of shock and doubt towards his father. "This is Meng Xiaochan, an old friend of your father's. I already know about your previous matters. She didn't know your identity at the time, so there were some misunderstandings. But your father being able to know about your situation is thanks to Xiaochan." Lu Changxing glanced at his son and said. Lu Quanzhen was in utter surprise. Though called an old friend, the person was gazing tenderly at his father. How could he not know what relationship the two had? For this he simply didn't know what to say. He could only say that his father's social connections were indeed quite extensive. He even had friends in Jin Kingdom. At this moment he recalled the previously appearing Heavenly Spider True Master, who seemed to be the master of this Meng Xiaochan. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14-17. Could it be that the Heavenly Spider True Man also has some connection with my father? Lu Quanzhen glanced at his father, his eyes twitching slightly, feeling that this was highly likely. Otherwise, how could this Heavenly Spider True Man appear just in time and even demand me from the old demon Jintian? However, as a son he naturally couldn't speak on matters concerning his father. Immediately he clasped his hands towards Meng Xiaochan and said, "Quanzhen greets Senior Meng. Thank you for your assistance. There's no need to be polite." Meng Xiaochan responded with a gentle smile. "Xiaochan, Quanzhen has some troubling issues. I plan to take him out to see if we can resolve them." Lu Changxing said to Meng Xiaochan, intending to take Lu Quanzhen to the Yiming Ghost sect. "Lu Lang, is there anything I can help with? My master said before that you can reach out to her if you need anything." Meng Xiaochan knew that Lu Quanzhen's situation was quite severe, and it was already remarkable that Lu Changxing managed to stabilize it. "It's just a minor issue. If your master asks, just let her know." Lu Changxing smiled and chose not to trouble Nangong Meili. He was planning to take Lu Quanzhen to the Yiming Ghost sect to demand answers, needing only to disguise themselves as loose cultivators without any scruples. But bringing Nangong Meili along would be inconvenient. "Alright Lu Lang, be careful. Meng Xiaochan, understanding Lu Changsheng's capabilities, didn't ask further. After saying that, she lightly pursed her pink lips, her beautiful eyes filled with hopeful reluctance, and said, Lu Lang, once you're done, will you return? I will. Wait for me? Lu Changsheng gently caressed her dreamlike, exquisite cheek with a smile. But as the words left his mouth, he suddenly felt it was inauspicious, like tempting fate, so he changed his words, saying, He'll still be in the Jin Kingdom. If anything happens, you can crush the transmission jade talisman and it'll come immediately. Whoosh! After Lu Changxing and Lu Chuanjin exited the Immortal Spider Marketplace, he immediately channeled his mana, riding a divine rainbow into the sky. Transforming into a rainbow to fly, is that a nascent soul immortal's technique? Even though Lu Chuanjin had already guessed that his father had broken through to the core formation stage, seeing this scene still left him astonished. After all, this was the core formation stage. Whether in Jiang country or Jin Kingdom, it is considered a leading presence, known as a nascent soul immortal. Has my family already reached the status of a core formation noble family? Just as he was wondering, suddenly golden light surged before him, dazzling and brilliant. A torrent of demon chi swept up, soaring skyward, giving a suffocating, mountainous pressure. It's that demon king shimmering with golden light. Lu Chuanjin was immediately startled, recognizing it as the golden light he had seen when his consciousness was hazy earlier. The next moment, a massive ping bird, seemingly forged from solid gold, appeared before him. Its body was huge and robust, every feather flashing with sharp, dazzling light, glittering like jewels. Its sharp beak seemed forged from ancient immortal gold, exuding a metallic, icy brilliance. Its pair of golden eyes, like two brilliant suns, profound and boundless, emanated an overwhelming presence that made one afraid to look directly. Is this Demon King Father's spiritual pet? Lu Chuanjin stared at the fearsome, awe-inspiring golden-winged heavenly peng before him, his heart in turmoil, like waves surging thousands of layers high. This is too astonishing. This golden demon king seemed to have subdued the old demon Jintian in just a few breaths. And yet father could tame such a demon king. But before he could think more, Lu Changxing carried him onto the golden-winged heavenly peng. Go! Lu Changxing instructed the golden peng on the direction of the Yiming ghost sect, then enveloped Lu Chuanjin with a yin-yang mysterious divine light. Ka! The golden-winged heavenly peng let out a cry, its wings stretching as a gale howled, clouds swirled, as though the world and all things made way, heading toward the Yiming ghost sect. If you have any questions, just ask. Lu Changxing glanced at his bewildered son beside him and spoke. Father, where are we planning to go? Lu Chuanjin snapped out of his trance, slightly dazed, and didn't inquire about his father's strength. Of course, to the Yiming ghost sect. Lu Changxing answered straightforwardly. The Yiming ghost sect? Lu Chuanjin was taken aback, his expression caught between shock and doubt. Since the ghost demon true master sent people to hunt you for so many years as your father, I must seek an explanation. Moreover, your Tao foundation and mana have been eroded by the blood fiend, causing conflicts with your cultivation technique and mana. Unless you abolish your cultivation and start anew, it can't be fundamentally resolved. This mana is similar to the Yiming Ghost sect's Netherworld Blood Evil technique, so I intend to see if the Yiming Ghost sect has a solution. Lu Changxing, clad in a mystic robe, stood tall, exuding an aura of suppressed power, his expression indifferent as he spoke. Lu Chuanjin was bewildered. He hadn't expected his father would go to the Yiming Ghost sect to stir up trouble. As one of the three great demon sects in the Jin Kingdom, the Yiming Ghost sect's strength is extraordinary, even surpassing the Qingyun sect by a level. Though his father's strength is profound and unfathomable, wanting to go to the Yiming Ghost sect looking for trouble might be challenging, right? Father, the Yiming Ghost sect openly has 9 nascent soul immortals in charge, not to mention the supreme treasure, myriad ghosts' blood pool to uphold their foundation. There are even rumors that the supreme elder of the Yiming Ghost sect is just half a step away from breaking through to nascent soul, and with the myriad ghosts' blood pool in hand, his strength rivals that of a nascent soul true lord. Lu Quanzhen's face turned pale, voicing quietly to subtly express the immense danger. No matter. Lu Changxing looked at his son's expression and spoke softly. Since he dared to head to the Yiming Ghost sect, he certainly had the confidence. With the 9 treasures Rui Bone, his strength absolutely matched the core formation late stage. Additionally, he had the golden-winged heavenly peng, a third-rank true spirit bloodline demon king. This battle power, even the Yiming Ghost sect had to hold some reservation. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14:18. Unwilling to fight him to the death. Even if the opponent wanted to fight to the death, Lu Changxing was utterly fearless. With the golden-winged heavenly Peng, unless a nascent soul true lord intervened, he could come and go as he pleased. Even if a nascent soul true lord came, Lu Changxing felt he could compete in speed. I am a fighter being chased by a fighting emperor, but am not worried in the slightest, because his horse isn't faster than mine. Lu Changxing suddenly thought of this phrase. Although it was a joke, it underscored how important it was to have a good mount. Lu Chuanzhen, seeing his father say this, was no longer worried. His blood-colored, narrow eyes gazed in the direction of the Yiming ghost sect, a surge of fierce hatred rising in his heart. Calm yourself in your current state, avoid impulsiveness and rash killing intent. Lu Changxing, seeing his son, frowned slightly and placed his hand on his shoulder, circulating the yin-yang creation scripture to help him manage his magic aura. Most demonic techniques have some side effects. At this moment, the blood fiend was eroding Lu Quanzhen's physical body, soul, and Dao foundation, making him naturally prone to drastic actions and deviation. Yes, father. Lu Chuanzhen took a deep breath, steadied his mental spirit, realizing his emotional state was unstable. However, his personality was somewhat like that, with a need for revenge. If he had enough strength, he would immediately seek out Ghost Demon True Master for revenge. After this, come back with me and properly rest your body. Lu Changxing glanced at his son's blood-colored, gray hair and spoke. The Mount Sumeru Tree King had the effect of purifying the mind and suppressing heart demons. Living home long-term would be beneficial for him. It's just thinking that his son would return in this state, his wife Chu Jinjin might not know what to say. Father, sorry to trouble you. Lu Chuanzhen said in a low voice. Encountering some things while outside is quite normal. Lu Changxing shook his head. Oh, earlier in the Immortal Spider Marketplace besides Xiaochan, you probably met a young girl in a purple dress, do you remember? At this moment he recalled his daughter Nangong Yaoyao's situation and mentioned it to Lu Chuanzhen. Although it's unlikely they'd see each other again, any minor misunderstanding the siblings had in the past should be resolved early. Otherwise, with time he might forget. Are you referring to the daughter of Heavenly Spider True Man, Nangong Yaoyao? Lu Chuanzhen had been vaguely speculating due to the prior incident with Meng Xiaochan. Yes, it's Yaoyao, she's actually your sister. She attacked you earlier due to the six-winged golden silkworm incident. But she didn't know your identity at the time. She's going to the Immortal Lotus sect now and cannot meet you to apologize. Lu Changxing said softly. Indeed. Lu Chuanzhen thought inwardly, not knowing what to say. He had speculated that Heavenly Spider True Man and his father might be related, but didn't expect Nangong Yaoyao to be their daughter. Yet his father was a Foundation establishment cultivator back then. How was it possible to have a daughter with a nascent soul immortal? He felt a rush of emotions but also some relief. When facing Nangong Yaoyao he hadn't suffered. He almost killed Nangong Yaoyao. If he really had killed his sister at the time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Father. Subsequently, Lu Chuanzhen looked at his father, wanting to say something but hesitated. What is it? Lu Changxing signaled him to speak directly. How many other brothers and sisters do I have out there? You could tell me in advance to avoid similar misunderstandings, Lu Chuanzhen said. Although he didn't have any emotional connections with most siblings and didn't feel much. He didn't want any internal strife. Lu Changxing? Is this how he appeared in his son's mind? There was clearly only Nangong Yaoyao as an outside daughter. Just this one. Lu Changxing said, thinking that when they return home, he should introduce the children and siblings to each other more. Otherwise, with so many siblings, they might not recognize each other if they met outside, especially with Lu Chuanzhen being away for over 20 years. There's a chance he doesn't know many of the siblings at home. The Immortal Spider Marketplace was within the Five Poisons Cults region, so it was still a distance to the Yiming Ghost sect. Also, heading to the Yiming Ghost sect would most likely involve a battle, so Lu Changxing didn't have the golden-winged heavenly Peng fly at full speed to conserve its strength. Even reaching the Yiming Ghost sect region, he slightly slowed down to keep the golden-winged heavenly Peng in good condition. At this moment, suddenly a surge of spiritual root enhancements activated, accompanied by a system notification tone. Ding. Congratulations to the host for reaching 100 progeny with spiritual roots. You have received one advanced lottery opportunity. Has Jiue given birth? Lu Changxing roughly guessed who had given birth to a child. A month ago, Yu Fei's child was born with ordinary spiritual roots, just 5th grade spiritual root. And this child, Lu Changxing sensed, should be a 4th grade spiritual root. This left him slightly disappointed. He had hoped after breaking through core formation, he and Xia Zizhu could have another child with superior grade spiritual root. But after 6 attempts, he understood that Xia Zizhu's spirit-nurturing physique worked like this. It could steadily produce offspring with spiritual roots, even guaranteeing a middle-grade spiritual root. But for superior grade spiritual roots, a lot of luck was still needed. System lottery. Lu Changxing thought quietly, hoping to draw something useful to enhance his combat power. If he could draw another 3rd-rank Demon King, he could truly roam unhindered. P.S. The author's note is not visible on QRead, so I'll add it here. Lu Chuanzhen should have received a lottery for breaking through the 9th level of Foundation Establishment, but it was forgotten earlier, so erase a patch. Content added in Chapter 484, Lu Chuanzhen breaks through the 9th level of Foundation Establishment, and the main character receives an advanced lottery, a Great Desolate Dragon Spine. Great Desolate Dragon Spine. Grade, 4th rank. Description: one of the 9 guardian bones of the Divine Bone Sect, this bone is indestructible, can boost physical body strength, absorbs heaven and earth's power to repair the body, and can transform into Great Desolate Dragon armor. At least 3rd rank body refining is required for refinement. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1419. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Seed of Law, Son of Heaven Chi Observation. Reward has been issued to System Space. The host can view it at any time. A dragon-shaped pattern with pale golden airflow emerged from the big wheel, accompanied by the system prompt tone. Seed of Law? Lu Changxing raised his eyebrows slightly, his expression content. He was naturally aware of the Seed of Law. Years ago he even drew a Seed of Law called Sword-Rushing Bullfight, which he gave to his son Lu Qingshan. Unexpectedly he drew another one now. This is a good thing. Lu Changxing's mental spirit moved slightly, looking toward the system space. Seed of Law, Son of Heaven Chi Observation. Rank, 4th rank. Description: Son of Heaven Chi Observation can kill with a smile, enhances the cultivation talent of the recipient, naturally born with various combat experience, can see the flaws of supernatural divine ability, mana mechanism flows. Why is it only 4th rank? Lu Changxing frowned. The previous ordinary lotteries, Sword-Rushing Bullfight was a 4th rank Seed of Law. This time the advanced lottery is only 4th rank as well? It seems that the previous one was sheer luck, this time it's normal level. Lu Changxing pondered secretly. Early ordinary lotteries did draw several 4th rank rewards. But aside from Sword-Rushing Bullfight, others were of average value. Even though the Seed of Law was ranked 4th, but judging from his son Lu Qingshan's situation, its effects were almost comparable to a top-level spiritual body. Even though it ranked 5th, it would be no exaggeration. Lu Changxing didn't look much into it, intending to research more about this Seed of Law later. Shoo. A golden streak flew across the sky, its wings unfolded as it tore the air into a long golden wave, stirring up fierce winds. Even when the golden-winged heavenly peng slowed down, it far surpassed many nascent soul cultivators. Several days later, just as they were approaching Yiming Ghost Sect, Lu Changxing suddenly sensed 2 nascent soul cultivators were in combat a dozen miles away. Among them was a wave of mana he faintly found familiar. Immediately scanning with divine sense, he saw 16 miles away, an ordinary-looking tall woman wearing blue-white tight-fitting clothing was wielding a shining magical sword, dueling a garishly made-up, pale-skinned, translucent-skinned glamorous woman wearing a white bone crown. The magical sword in her hand was enveloped in a sharp and ethereal 7-colored sword light. With a casual swipe, countless 7-colored sword chi emerged, crisscrossing and filled with a sharp murderous aura. The glamorous woman wearing the white bone crown wielded a blood-red flame-long silk, like a blood python shadow, coiling around her, struggling to resist the 7-colored sword chi. It was clear that the glamorous woman wearing the white bone crown was not a match for the sword-wielding woman, seemingly delaying time, preventing her from leaving. How is she here? Lu Changxing, seeing the sword-wielding woman, raised his eyebrow, somewhat surprised. This tall, plain-looking sword cultivator woman was none other than Xianxia's senior sister, Chu Qingyi. Previously, Chu Qingyi broke and stood, dissolved the true elixir and reconsolidated the golden core, cultivating the 7 luminaries' great freedom sword scripture. Thus, Lu Changxing was very familiar with her magic aura, instantly seeing through her disguise and camouflage. But Chu Qingyi should be in closed-door cultivation within the Qingyun sect. Why was she appearing in Jin Kingdom just right at the Yiming Ghost sect? Could this be another mysterious hint of fate? Lu Changxing touched his chin. Simultaneously, the 2 women in combat sensed the rolling demon chi of the golden-winged heavenly Peng, their expressions shocked and suspicious, unsure if it was enemy or ally. This place is not suitable for staying long. Chu Qingyi knew this glamorous woman was delaying time, waiting for reinforcements. Now, with another surge of demon chi appearing, clearly with ill intentions. Instantly, she made a gesture incantation with one hand, a dazzling blue flying sword broke through the air, flowing with variegated runes. Then the flying sword transformed visibly to the naked eye into a giant sword dozens of meters long, filled with a fierce and overbearing, unparalleled sharp mechanism, slashing toward the glamorous woman. The blood-red flame of the black long silk immediately appeared damaged with a creak sound under this enormous sword attack. However, this long silk immediately coiled like a giant python around the giant sword, making it hard to advance even an inch. Next, a giant python phantom with a blood-red glow appeared, opening its huge mouth, spewing out a chilling ghost energy. Several eerie, seemingly corroded by time, rusty chains appeared, extending toward Chu Qingyi, emanating a cold and dark glow. Clang clang clang, Chu Qingyi's eyes were cold, her magical sword fierce and overbearing, sword chi crisscrossing, breaking through chain seals, retrieving the dazzling blue flying sword and escaping into the air. However, at that moment, waves of Yin wind swept in from the sky, countless demonic cloud ghost shadows surged, like 100 ghosts walking at night, 10,000 ghosts howling. A giant ghostly shadow dozens of meters tall howled toward her. Cackle cackle cackle. He he he, woo woo woo, dear Taoist friend, since you're here, why hurry to leave? This giant ghostly shadow seemed composed of countless human figures, young and old, male and female, some enchanting and charming, others terrifying and ugly, speaking together like a soul-reaping magic sound, shrill and piercing, chilling the soul. The glamorous woman saw the ghostly shadow approaching, instantly filled with joy. Continuing to deploy the black silk magical treasures, rushing towards Chu Qingyi to intercept her. Break! Chu Qingyi halted, and from her chi ocean core the golden core emitted dazzling light, then her magical sword slashed fiercely. Dozens of indistinct, formless sword lights interweaving, demonstrating an unparalleled killing intent. Not good. The glamorous woman hastily blocked. Yet, the dazzling blue flying sword suddenly lunged again, carving a deep bloody scar on her. Ah! The glamorous woman immediately let out a shrill cry, her body flying sideways. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1420, Hee Hee. At this moment, the giant ghostly apparition swept towards Chu Qingyi. A swirling magic cloud of ghost energy seemed to seal off this realm, obscuring the sky and shrouding the sun in darkness, utterly terrifying. Go! Lu Changxing saw this and immediately signaled the golden-winged heavenly Peng to rush over. Although Chu Qingyi was a sword cultivator with a superior grade golden core and formidable combat strength, this ghostly apparition's aura was on par with that of the White Peak Immortal from years past. Faced with 2 nascent soul cultivators including that enchanting beauty, Chu Qingyi might not be their match. Moreover, I came here to seek an explanation from the Yiming Ghost sect. If we can suppress these 2 nascent soul cultivators now, it will be much easier later. Lu Chuanzhen, standing by, watched as the golden-winged heavenly Peng suddenly flew off in another direction, surprised as he looked towards his father. Just happened to encounter a friend. Lu Changxing glanced at him and explained. A friend? Lu Chuanzhen was taken aback, his expression a bit odd. Does my father really have such a wide circle of friends? Can he bump into a friend even at the Yiming Ghost sect? It makes one wonder whether this friend is male or female. A moment later, he saw a heavy shroud enveloping the sky ahead. Even from a distance there was a feeling of suffocating oppression. Realizing that there's a nascent soul cultivator engaged in combat here. Boom, boom, boom. He then saw strands of 7-colored radiance erupting from the dark magic clouds, like beams tearing the pitch-black sky apart. Ah ah ah, shrill, piercing cries of agony echoed, both male and female, old and young, like a deathly Brahma sound, with an invisible ghostly hand gripping one's throat, infusing the heart with horror and despair. The next moment, a figure burst forth from the swirling magic clouds into the sky. Yet, on top of the swirling magic clouds, gruesome, horrifying skulls formed, biting towards the figure. Even for someone accustomed to slaughter, Lu Chuanjun felt a chill seeing this scene. Not because the scene was too horrifying, but the supernatural abilities and techniques of a nascent soul cultivator, every move capable of interfering and impacting others' mental spirits. Facing these skulls, Chu Qingyi didn't linger in battle. The seven-colored sword light flowed around her, exuding a terrifying, sharp chi mechanism, seemingly set to shred everything to pieces. However, just as several skulls were shattered by Chu Qingyi, the magic cloud and ghost energy formed figures, ghostly apparitions, or even fierce beasts, continuing their assault. Golden Peng. Lu Changxing stood tall and poised on the golden-winged heavenly Peng, signaling it to directly attack. Whoosh! The golden-winged heavenly Peng streaked like a golden ribbon, charging straight into the swirling magic clouds. The enchanting beauty sensed a dangerous aura from the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Her expression turned towards horror as she quickly evaded. Yet at this moment, suddenly, she felt as if her soul was violently struck. Her face went pale, clutching her forehead in pain. Pfft. The next moment, she was tightly grasped by the golden-winged heavenly Peng's talons, coughing up blood, unable to struggle. Lu Chuanjun, witnessing this scene, was astonished. Even knowing his father's extraordinary prowess and the golden Peng bird's immense combat strength, having previously subdued the Tremble Heaven demon in an instant, seeing the golden-winged heavenly Peng capturing a nascent soul immortal so effortlessly left him in awe. Because it was truly astounding. After all, this was a nascent soul immortal. A nascent soul immortal, just like a tiny chick, completely helpless in its grasp. Not only him but even Chu Qingyi from afar was stunned by this scene. Though confident she could defeat the enchanting beauty in a one-on-one confrontation, she could never achieve such an easy suppression. Glancing at the golden-winged heavenly Peng and the two figures, she didn't hesitate at all, preparing to escape through the air. Qingyi. However, at this moment, a gentle voice sounded in her mind. Ha! Chu Qingyi was suddenly startled upon hearing this familiar gentle voice. Then she looked at Lu Changxing on the golden-winged heavenly Peng with a face full of disbelief. If it weren't for her sword heart clarity, confirming that this was the other party transmitting a message via divine sense, she would even suspect it was some demon path method, stirring up interference with her mental spirit. Otherwise, how could it be such a coincidence? She came to the Jin kingdom and encountered him. Who are you? Why do you oppose my Yiming ghost sect? At this moment, amid the swirling ghost fog, a raspy voice that was unclear whether male or female sounded, like sandpaper grinding metal, extremely piercing. Lu Changxing did not speak, signaling the golden-winged heavenly Peng to swiftly finish the battle. Now with the golden-winged heavenly Peng, he himself was too lazy to make a move. Then he transmitted a message to Chu Qingyi. Qingyi, he'll handle the situation first, we can catch up later. Be careful, this person is from the Yiming ghost sect. Chu Qingyi immediately wanted to speak up to warn, indicating that this person's strength was not ordinary. But the golden-winged heavenly Peng had already made a move. 100,000 8,000 feathers. Surging demon chi rushed forth, numerous golden runes flowed. At this moment, the killing intent of this world was astonishing, countless golden divine feathers appeared. Each feather was like an unparalleled divine sword, shining with radiant light, spewing forth intensely fierce killing intent, sharp, intimidating, leaving people trembled at the sight. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, whiz whiz whiz, the golden-winged heavenly Peng spread its wings in mid-air, stirring up fierce gales, countless golden feathers shot out, bursting forth with dazzling divine light. Thud thud thud. In an instant, the ghost fog was pierced by the golden divine feathers into tatters, scattered all over, echoing the shrieking and wailing of ghosts and wolves between heaven and earth. This ghost shadow true immortal cultivates the myriad ghosts technique, can transform into myriad ghosts. All this ghost fog are his incarnations. Chu Qingyi saw the shattering ghost fog reuniting, immediately reminded Lu Changxing. When fighting this ghost shadow true immortal, if one cannot find his true body, it is very easy to be drained of mana. How dare you? Coming to my Yiming ghost sect territory with impudence, you will pay. Ghost shadow true immortal roared, voice raspy and piercing. Although he could transform into myriad ghosts, these ghost shadows all required his nurturing and gathering. Now under the 100,000 8,000 feathers of the golden-winged heavenly Peng, more than half were directly annihilated, causing his battle power to decrease significantly. However, despite his harsh words, he immediately rolled up the ghost fog and fled towards the direction of the Yiming ghost sect. Transform into myriad ghosts? Lu Changxing heard this and slightly raised his brows. Then his gaze became like a torch, bursting with golden light, scrutinizing the ghost fog ahead, seeing countless ghost shadows flickering within. After several breaths, he saw a ghost shadow inside distinct from the others, relatively more solid, and immediately signaled the golden-winged heavenly Peng. The golden-winged heavenly Peng's pupils blazed like two scorching suns, also perceiving some of the situation. Instantly, a dense barrage of golden divine feathers rushed towards Ghost Shadow True Immortal, forming a daunting golden ocean infused with unparalleled killing intent, leaving people trembling at the sight. Thud thud thud. Indeed, as the ghost fog was forced away, besides the piercing howling, blood also splattered out. Lu Changxing immediately saw a seemingly indistinct ghost shadow attempting to escape. Trying to leave? Xianxia grasp. Lu Changxing's expression remained calm, his eyes blazing. Qi Ocean Core Yin Great Tao Golden Core trembled once, rising with boundless radiance. A mysterious Yin Qi shot up from Lu Changxing's head, straight into the clouds, instantly forming a 100-zhang-sized hand of flowing Yin, grasping the escaping ghost shadow. This, Lu Chuanzhen and Chu Qingyi saw this scene. Both were full of shock, speechless. Especially Chu Qingyi. She had investigated the Yiming ghost sect thoroughly during this time, knowing the Ghost Shadow True Immortal had a 6th-level core formation cultivation level, and cultivated the myriad ghosts technique. Even late-stage core formation cultivators found it difficult to kill him. But now this Ghost Shadow True Immortal was easily subdued by Lu Changxing. The entire process was so fast that she barely had time to react. Chu Qingyi looked at Lu Changxing's golden-winged heavenly Peng, realizing it was no ordinary demon king, already reaching 3rd rank late stage. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1421, Who are you? Doing this, my Yiming ghost sect will never let you go. No matter where you flee, it will be a dead end. Ghost Shadow True Man was brimming with rolling demonic qi, struggling against Lu Changxing's yin-yang qi grasp, issuing a threat with his voice, but the tone was clearly fierce outwardly but weak inwardly. There's no need for your Yiming ghost sect to trouble me, he'll be coming to seek an explanation right now. Lu Changxing snorted coldly. The 9 treasures Rui bones surged on his chest, endless runes interwoven, emitting dazzling divine light. Sealing divine light, like an orderly chain, shot towards Ghost Shadow True Man, wrapping and binding him. Boom boom boom. Ghost Shadow True Man, already quite struggling under the yin-yang qi grasp. Now facing the sealing divine light, he was immediately overwhelmed, spitting blood, his entire mana suppressed and imprisoned, falling into the other golden claw of the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Lu Daoist, how come you are here? At this moment, Chu Qingyi looked at Lu Changxing, her expression shocked and uncertain, speaking in disbelief. If Lu Changxing hadn't transmitted his divine sense to her, and if she wasn't very familiar with Lu Changxing's mana, she would have been hesitant to confirm it was Lu Changxing, because it was too astonishing. Not just the power but also this golden-winged heavenly Peng. During the brief confrontation, she saw that this golden ping bird's power was extraordinary. A top-level demon king at the 3rd rank late stage. Yet such a demon king was used as a mount by the opponent. Even in Qingyun sect and even spirit taming sect, such spiritual beasts are top-level beings, guardian sect spirit beasts. My son was attacked by Ghost Demon True Man, so I came to Yiming Ghost Sect for an explanation, and to see if I can solve his physical problem. Lu Changxing said in a deep voice. Chu Qingyi glanced at Lu Chuanzhen, who had red eyes and a pale face, and immediately saw his essence blood was depleted, like suffering from deviation. Junior Lu Chuanzhen greets the senior. Lu Chuanzhen quickly cupped his hands in salute, though he did not know the other party. But since she was a friend of his father and also a nascent soul immortal, he naturally had to be respectful. Moreover, since this nascent soul immortal was a woman, it made him inexplicably suspicious of the unusual relationship between her and his father. I have a green blood essence pill here. It has the effects of regenerating and filling voids, cleansing the physical body and greatly replenishing essence. It will be of some help to you. Chu Qingyi nodded slightly, taking out a delicate porcelain bottle from the storage ring and handing it to Lu Chuanjun. This pill was extremely precious, a third-rank spirit pill, which she herself kept in case of emergency, prepared as a healing pill. Thank you, senior. Lu Chuanjun glanced at his father and then respectfully took it. Qingyi, how come you're here? Lu Changxing looked at Chu Qingyi in front of him, asking aloud. Upon hearing this, Chu Qingyi's heart trembled sharply and she whispered, I just happened to have a mission. Though she spoke of a mission, in reality, it was to avoid Lu Changxing, going outdoors for training and relaxation, so she felt somewhat guilty. Mission. Lu Changxing raised his eyebrows, scrutinizing Chu Qingyi in front of him, saying, You're not deliberately avoiding me, are you? He knew roughly about the system of Qingyun sect, such sections. After Chu Qingyi had just returned from the Tianyuan secret realm, unless it was a matter of urgency, they wouldn't assign missions to her. Moreover, at that time Yun Wanshang told him Chu Qingyi was in closed-door cultivation. But now, while in seclusion, she had come to Jin Kingdom. There was clearly an issue. Chu Qingyi wanted to say something but then pursed her lips and fell silent. Forget it, since there's nothing wrong, you should leave quickly. Seeing her manner, Lu Changxing immediately knew what was going on, shook his head and chose not to ask more. Were it normal times, he would still have leisure to tease Chu Qingyi, but now there was important business. Having suppressed 2 nascent soul immortals from Yiming Ghost Sect, he assumed Yiming Ghost Sect already had someone on their way. Lu Chuanjun beside him observed, focusing intently inwardly, as if he hadn't heard or seen anything. He had previously guessed about his father's relationship with others. Now hearing the conversation between the two, he couldn't help but inwardly mumble, his father truly had confidants everywhere. Apart from the heavenly spider true man of 5 poisons cult, there was also a deep connection with such a nascent soul immortal. Even in the cultivation world of Jin Kingdom, how many unknown relationships and connections does his father possibly have in Jiang country? Lu Daoist, are you going to trouble Yiming Ghost Sect? Chu Qingyi gently pursed her lips, speaking up. Yes. Lu Changxing nodded. Yiming Ghost Sect's power is formidable, with a cultivator at the peak of core formation, and its mountain protection array is a 4th-tier forbidden array, Chu Qingyi immediately said. Though Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly Peng displayed phenomenal combat strength, this power is still not enough to provoke Yiming Ghost Sect. Having such a 1,000-year legacy sect, aside from the apparent combat power, it has numerous ways that prevent preparedness. And coming to demand an explanation, such a matter is intolerable for any faction, a blatant slap in the face that easily escalates the situation. Rest assured, I know what I'm doing. Lu Changxing smiled slightly. Chu Qingyi saw Lu Changxing was unlikely to change his mind easily, but she could not watch him take risks. Silently sighed, she said softly, If that's the case, I'll go with you so I can assist you a bit when the time comes. All right. Lu Changxing looked into Chu Qingyi's clear and steadfast eyes, and then smiled lightly. Then he naturally reached out to Chu Qingyi, leading her onto the golden-winged heavenly Peng. This surprised Chu Qingyi once again. Such demon kings are exceedingly proud. Generally, apart from their masters, they rarely serve as mounts for others and typically resist. But this golden ping bird showed no sign of resistance, even voluntarily retracting its sharp aura. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1422. This is truly astonishing. It shows that this golden ping bird has completely submitted to Lu Changxing. Let's go. Lu Changxing gestured towards the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Whoosh! The golden-winged heavenly Peng immediately flew towards the Yiming Ghost Sect. However, before they reached the Yiming Ghost Sect, they sensed a blood-colored light flowing in the sky, surging mightily. Who's the reckless rogue daring to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost Sect? Before the person arrived, the voice came first. From miles away, a chillingly cold voice resounded. In an instant, the sky's bloody glow became denser, torrents of Yin wind swept through, and a foul stench of blood filled the air. Lu Changxing's eyes were like torches, shining brilliantly with golden light as he saw countless blood-colored bats within the bloody light, stretching endlessly, terrifying to behold. This person is the great elder of the Yiming Ghost Sect, and his cultivation technique is the netherworld myriad ghost art. But he had a fortuitous encounter earlier in life, contracting an ancient blood bat, and transformed the Netherworld Myriad Ghost Art into the Netherworld Bloodbat Sutra, wielding unfathomable power, with a cultivation level at the core formation 8th layer. Chu Qingyi, seeing the sky filled with blood bats, immediately identified the newcomer, her eyes filled with dread. Besides the Supreme Elder who is preparing to break through to the nascent soul stage, the Yiming Ghost sect has 2 late-stage core formation cultivators. One of them is this Ghost Bat True Master. Due to his cultivation method and possession of an ancient blood bat, his power is indeed terrifying. Great Elder. The Ghost Shadow True Master and the Enchanting Beauty were full of joy upon seeing the blood shadows in the sky. Besides the Supreme Elder who is in long-term seclusion, this Ghost Bat True Master is the foremost figure in the Yiming Ghost sect. Not only does he have the strength of the core formation 8th layer, but he also possesses a late-stage 3rd-rank blood bat. Even though Lu Changsheng's strength is astonishing, instantly suppressing them, he couldn't possibly be a match for their great elder. Ugh ugh ugh. Lu Chuanjin inhaled the thick bloody stench, and even though he was protected by the yin-yang mysterious divine light, his face was full of pain as the blood fiend chi within him boiled. Seeing this, Lu Changxing frowned, realizing it was the opponent's cultivation technique causing the effect. He immediately raised his hand lightly, and the Tianyuan lotus appeared, enveloping Lu Chuanjin within. During the earlier battle, he allowed his son to gain some experience. But now, this battle would be hard for him to protect the other. Moreover, this Ghost Bat True Master must have cultivated techniques involving blood fiend aspects, which indirectly affected Lu Chuanjin. Qingyi, be careful. The dormant qi and blood within Lu Changxing began to revive, and he said sternly to Chu Qingyi. Then he signaled the golden-winged heavenly Peng to directly attack. This person is the great elder of the Yiming Ghost sect, the first under the Supreme Elder. If I can suppress him, it will severely damage the Yiming Ghost sect's primordial energy. At that time I could gain a great deal from the Yiming Ghost sect through this person, resolving Lu Quanzhen's physical issues, and even securing resources for my wives and children's future core formation. How bold! Just because you rely on a spiritual beast, do you think you're invincible in the world? The Ghost Bat True Master saw Lu Changxing riding the golden-winged heavenly Peng coming directly at him and coldly shouted. He naturally saw that the golden-winged heavenly Peng was unusual. Even his blood bat showed some timidity in the face of the golden-winged heavenly Peng. One must know his blood bat is by no means simple. Due to a bloodline atavism, it possesses some true spirit bloodline. Because of this, he relied on the blood bat to grow to such a degree. But now, the golden-winged heavenly Peng instills a sense of dread in his blood bat. Nevertheless, besides the dread, the blood bat also had a craving. It longed to devour the essence blood of the golden-winged heavenly Peng. If it could devour the golden-winged heavenly Peng, it might have a chance to advance to the 4th rank within 100 years. Lu Changxing didn't respond, and a resonance echoed from his Qi Ocean core, as the formless treasure wheel appeared, like a blazing sun spinning in his mind, making him look magnificent. The 2 people held by the golden-winged heavenly Peng were instantly suppressed into the formless domain. This battle demands full effort, and the golden-winged heavenly Peng's combat power must not be compromised. You seek death. Seeing this scene, the Ghost Bat True Master thought Lu Changxing was provoking him and shouted loudly. His voice was chilling, filled with disruptive qi mechanism, interfering with others' mental spirits. At the same time, endless blood bats swept towards Lu Changxing. 108,000 feathers. The golden-winged heavenly Peng, radiant all over, released a sound that shattered metal and stone, shaking the skies, making a killing intent pervasive on all sides. Golden divine feathers appeared like swords, emitting a fierce light, slashing towards the blood bats. Puff, puff, puff. Many blood bats were pierced by the golden divine feathers, shattering to dust. But those slain blood bats immediately transformed into a bloody mist, merging into other bats, making those bats' aura stronger. Netherworld Blood Ghost Art. The Ghost Bat True Master's voice was cold as he clenched his palm, sending a bloody ghost image hurtling towards Lu Changxing. The giant blood bat beneath him howled towards the sky at this moment, emitting a rapid, close-packed, fierce, sharp, chaotic series of notes that chilled the heart. 9 treasures Rui Bone vitality, energy, spirit. Lu Changxing's 3rd-rank physique fully resurrected. The runes on the 9 treasures Rui Bone on his chest surged wildly, making his physical body, mana and divine sense roar like a tsunami. Core formation 4th layer. Core formation 5th layer. Core formation 6th layer. Besides his cultivation and magical power, Lu Changsheng's physical strength also improved crazily, almost advancing by a whole level, comparable to the third rank late stage. As for his divine sense, even Lu Changsheng himself didn't know to what extent it had improved. Because after awakening the Tai divine soul, his divine sense was already not weaker than the core formation peak. Now with the enhancement of the 9 treasures Rui Bone, the sonic attacks from the blood bat did not significantly affect him. In contrast, not far away, Chu Qingjia's face turned pale as if her entire Bodis blood was beyond her control, and a sharp blade seemed to be slicing through her sea of consciousness. She quickly circulated her cultivation technique to suppress this influence. Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. Lu Changsheng's body, with its boiling and roaring blood, shone with treasure light and ignited a fierce and domineering purple-red flame, ready to rely on the third-rank body refining to quickly end the battle. Hoo! The vigorous Chi-blood magical power and the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame surged skyward, forming a fiery beacon of smoke, stirring the weather, and the scorching and violent flames illuminated the skies, burning countless blood bats into rolling bloody mist. Some of the bloody mist did not even have time to merge into other blood bats and was directly evaporated by the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. The Thunder Gang Dragon Flame is extremely young and unyielding, exceedingly violent, and has a restraining effect on such demon path methods. Lu Changsheng had previously forgotten this point. The Thunder Gang Dragon Flame on his body surged even more violently, as if a flood dragon coiled around his fist and suddenly blasted forward. Boom! The bloody ghost shadow before him directly shattered, turning into rolling bloody ghost fog. The pupils of the ghost bat true master on the blood bat shrank, and his heart trembled as he sensed a strong aura of danger from Lu Changsheng. His initial boldness to act against Lu Changsheng was because he saw Lu Changsheng's cultivation was only at the initial stage of core formation. The plan was to settle Lu Changsheng first, and then with the blood bat, subdue the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Yet now Lu Changsheng's aura climbed steadily, burning with a blazing violent flame that gave him a strong sense of danger. Immediately the ghost bat sent a message to the sect master Yinming Ghost King, requesting reinforcements. Today's battle concerned not only the dignity of the Yiming Ghost sect but the safety of 2 nascent soul immortals and his own future opportunities. If the blood bat could advance to the 4th rank, he too might hope to break through to the nascent soul stage in the future. Netherworld Blood Pool. Not daring to underestimate his opponent, the ghost bat true master let out a long howl, summoning a blood pool emitting a ghostly light, with viscous scarlet liquid flowing inside. This was his life-bound magic treasure, the Netherworld Blood Pool. It was crafted based on the Yinming Ghost sect's supreme treasure, the Myriad Ghosts Blood Pool with uncommon effects. Instantly, countless blood shadows emerged from the Netherworld Blood Pool, forming a mysterious and strange formation with the myriad blood bats in the sky, emitting waves of sharp and ear-piercing terror sound waves. Lu Changsheng's divine sense was incredibly stable, utterly unaffected by these sound waves. In contrast, not far away, Chu Qingyi was slightly dazed, interfered again by this wave of sound. Chu Qingyi watched the distant fierce battle, slightly biting her lips, her clear and beautiful eyes filled with an indescribably complex emotion. She had initially thought of coming to lend a hand. But now with such a battle, she found it difficult to intervene. If she entered the battlefield recklessly, Lu Changsheng might even have to divide his attention to save her. Yet as she watched Lu Changsheng like both god and demon, his whole body burning with purple-red flames, she was suddenly lost in thought. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1423, Great 5 Elements Divine Fist. Lu Changsheng's dragon roar origin burst open, causing strands of golden light to emerge from the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. Then he deployed the divine skill punch from the 5 Elements Union Sutra, breaking through layers of blood light, charging towards the Ghost Bat True Master. No wonder this person dares to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost sect. The Ghost Bat True Master's eye twitched slightly, feeling uneasy. However, he noticed that Lu Changsheng used some technique to elevate his strength to this level. So as long as he could delay engaging Lu Changsheng in a prolonged battle, the opponent would find it difficult to maintain. Moreover, since this was the Yiming Ghost sect's headquarters, once reinforcements arrived, no matter how many tricks Lu Changsheng had, he would have no choice but to surrender. Boom! The Ghost Bat True Master stepped forward, standing amidst the Netherworld Blood Pool, stirred up a massive wave of blood, forming cascading waterfalls of blood. Boom boom boom. Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly peng directly broke through layers of blood waterfalls, reaching the ghost bat true master. But in an instant, blood surged behind the ghost bat true master, forming massive bat wings glowing with dark blood light, stirring the waves of blood, and then he vanished into a shadow. Squeak squeak squeak. Meanwhile the ancient blood bat beneath him screeched sharply, merging with the blood light of heaven and earth, forming a mysterious force, charging towards Lu Changxing. Boom boom boom. Within Lu Changxing's body the dragon roar origin surged, his pores flowed with dense dragon roar energy, and the Thunder Gang dragon flame raged fiercely, like a flaming azure dragon atop his head, tearing through heaven and earth, breaking the blood light. The fiery purple-red flames and the blood light filled the heavens and earth, pervading a terrifying aura, causing Chu Qingyi to feel incredibly shocked. She thought to herself, is Lu Changxing's battle power possibly not inferior to her master? Cry. The golden-winged heavenly peng cried out, its 180,000 feathers rose like a golden sea, piercing through the blood light, causing the ancient blood bat to screech and suddenly fly into the sky to evade. But Lu Changxing realized that he and the golden-winged heavenly peng were unable to inflict any harm on the ghost bat true master despite destroying the blood bats. The opponent's blood bats were different from the ghost shadows and demonic chi of the ghost shadow true man, seemingly endless, continuously birthed from the ghost bat true master's netherworld blood pool. Indeed, being able to break through the late stage of core formation is no simple matter. With my current strength, suppressing the ghost bat true master might be difficult. Moreover, he noticed that I relied on external forces to boost my strength, so he avoided direct confrontation and aimed to buy time, waiting for an opportunity. Lu Changxing pondered the intentions of the ghost bat true master. And through brief exchanges, he also noticed that the ghost bat true master specialized in prolonged battles. Since that's the case, let's see now how my full power fares in battle. Lu Changxing's eyes shone brilliantly, releasing 2 beams of golden divine light. Within his Qi Ocean core the Yin-Yang Great Tao Golden Core suddenly resonated, emitting immense radiant light, and the mana of the 6th layer of core formation roared like a true dragon. Yin-Yang Great Mingling Millstone. Lu Changxing had never deployed this divine skill before. Now, with elevated cultivation, it was the perfect chance. He also wanted to see how his full power compared. Against a nascent soul cultivator like the ghost bat true master, what was the gap? The yin-yang energies flowed, emanating a profound great Dao Qi mechanism, forming 2 yin-yang fish. One was extremely masculine and rigid, the other extremely soft and gentle, constantly entwining. Boom boom boom. As the yin-yang interacted, the world erupted, the void shattered, all of nature's spiritual energy, essence energy, and demonic chi were swept up, forming a massive grinding mill resembling a black hole funnel, rotating relentlessly, seeming to grind all things into oblivion. Boom boom boom. The blood light, blood bats, and blood shadows were immediately ground to dust by this millstone, transforming into strands of yin-yang chi, causing the millstone to seemingly grow larger, its aura terrifying. Beside him, the golden-winged heavenly peng witnessed its owner's power, naturally unwilling to lag behind, its entire body shining brightly, charging to attack the ghost bat true master. Heavenly Peng Dragon Fighting Technique. The golden-winged heavenly peng was completely radiant, dazzling like a golden rainbow. A true dragon phantom emerged atop its head, tearing through the sealed heavens, charging towards the ghost bat true master. The heavenly peng dragon fighting technique was a top-tier innate divine skill. Only a few golden-winged heavenly pengs could awaken it. Once this divine skill was unleashed, the golden divine light was like a vast ocean, tearing through limitless blood light. Not good. Seeing this, the ghost bat true master's face changed involuntarily, only now realizing that he had underestimated not only Lu Changxing's power but also the golden-winged heavenly peng's strength. Splat! The golden true dragon coiled around the golden-winged heavenly peng's body, suddenly tearing the ghost bat true master's physical form apart. But in the blink of an eye, the ghost bat true master transformed into countless blood bats, appearing dozens of meters away, evading the strike, yet still felt an intense force causing damage to his body. The golden-winged heavenly peng's eyes were cold and ruthless, its killing intent soared. Besides the true dragon phantom atop its head, a mountainous peng phantom appeared, continuing its assault on the ghost bat true master, the endless terrifying aura making the weather shift, causing heaven and earth to lose color. When the heavenly peng dragon fighting technique was evolved to the extreme, it could form the heavenly peng battles dragon diagram. This diagram was not only a top-tier divine skill for slaughter but also could amplify its battle power. Boom boom boom. The current battle power of the golden-winged heavenly Peng surpassed Lu Changxing, who relied on the 9 treasures Rui Bone, its golden claws winding around a series of true dragons, releasing countless golden rays with every gesture, tearing heaven and earth, aiming to slay all life. Splat! The boundless blood light and waterfalls formed by the Ghost Bat True Master's netherworld blood pool were effortlessly pierced and torn by the golden-winged heavenly Peng, forcing it into a frantic retreat. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1424, Boom Boom Boom. However, the golden-winged heavenly Peng attacked the Ghost Bat True Master like golden lightning. Each swing of its giant claws seemed to shatter the heavenly dome, exuding an unparalleled aura. The most astonishing and terrifying thing was that the aura of the golden-winged heavenly Peng continued to rise, becoming more intense with each battle. So fierce? Even Lu Changxing was surprised to witness this scene. He knew the golden-winged heavenly Peng was formidable, a top-level existence in core formation. But never did he expect it to be so fierce, its divine skills outright suppressing the late-stage core formation Ghost Bat True Master. One must know that this Ghost Bat True Master, as the great elder of the Yiming Ghost sect, second only to the Supreme Elder, had absolutely unquestionable strength. Kill? Lu Changxing looked at the ancient blood bat blocking his path, operating his yin-yang great mingling millstone. This millstone, resembling a black hole, with each rotation seemed to grind heaven and earth into powder, emanating an unstoppable power. Yet this ancient blood bat was extraordinary as well, a top-tier existence among the third-rank late-stage demon kings, its blood wings flapping, unleashing a terrifying blood rain. This blood rain seemed to corrode and decay everything, accompanied by sharp, piercing noises. Had Lu Changxing not awakened the Tai divine soul, with his divine sense surpassing the core formation peak, he would have been disturbed and affected, his consciousness disrupted. I can only kill this Ghost Bat True Master first. Lu Changxing realized that this ancient blood bat was extremely troublesome. Although his yin-yang great mingling millstone could annihilate everything, immune to countless methods, suppressing this ancient blood bat in a short time was quite challenging. 6 Desires Heart Demon Technique, 6 Senses Locking Heart. Lu Changxing's eyes shone brightly, shooting out 2 beams of golden divine light, targeting the Ghost Bat True Master being pursued by the golden-winged heavenly Peng. In the sea of consciousness at his brow, the Tai divine soul, like a golden little figure, seemed to walk out, forming an invisible illusionary shadow to attack the Ghost Bat True Master. Buzz. The Ghost Bat True Master, who was continuously retreating, suddenly felt an intangible aura roaring in, his consciousness plunging momentarily into darkness, as if to descend into an illusion realm. However, his soul was not ordinary, and with a magical treasure suppressing his sea of consciousness, he instantly awakened from the blurry and chaotic images. Yet upon awakening, what greeted his eyes was a golden claw, entwined with a true dragon, glinting with a sharp, cold sheen. Puchi. The claws tore through the skies and earth, severing mountains and rivers, and the Ghost Bat True Master's body was torn into 2 by the golden-winged heavenly Peng. However, in that instant, the Ghost Bat True Master's body exploded violently, turning into rolling netherworld blood mist and scattered swiftly with a swish sound. Buzz. The next moment, the Ghost Bat True Master reappeared several dozen feet away, his face pale. He must have used some secret magical ability just now to avoid being thoroughly suppressed by the golden-winged heavenly Peng, bearing even greater damage. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly Peng's eyes shone sharply, like blazing suns gazing at the Ghost Bat True Master, letting out a long cry, stirring the mountains and rivers in all directions as it continued to attack him. At this moment, the golden-winged heavenly Peng fully unleashed the formidable ferocity of a true spirit-level demon king bloodline. The heavenly Peng battle's dragon diagram overhead was even more intimidating, as if it would truly descend into the world, intimidating others' mental spirits. The ancient blood bat fighting with Lu Changxing seemed affected by the aura of the golden-winged heavenly Peng, its fighting power and aura appearing somewhat diminished. Go go go! Where would the Ghost Bat True Master dare to fight the golden-winged heavenly Peng any further? If the fight continued, whether he could outlast Lu Changxing was unknown to him. But he knew if he dragged on, he would meet his end here today. Too fierce, this golden Peng bird was simply too fierce. No wonder his ancient blood bat held a sense of fear towards this pung bird. Want to escape? Lu Changxing saw the ghost bat true master intended to flee, and once again executed the Six Desires Heart Demon technique, propelling the yin-yang great mingling millstone to suppress the ghost bat true master. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The ancient blood bat, seeing this, spread its wings, forming countless gusts of bloody rain attacking Lu Changxing. However, Lu Changxing's physical body was like a dragon, burning fiercely with flames, and with the yin-yang great mingling mill suspended overhead, he was immune to countless methods, directly ignoring the blood bat's attacks. Such terrifying divine sense attack. Who is this person exactly? Why have I never heard of such a figure? The ghost bat true master, now on guard, was not caught this time, his eyes filled with dread as he looked at Lu Changxing, his heart filled with shock. As the great elder of the Yiming ghost sect, a late-stage core formation great cultivator, he not only had knowledge of the Jin Kingdom's nascent soul immortals. He also roughly knew the famous nascent soul immortals of Jiang country, Yu country, Yuan country, Liang country, and the cultivation world. But he had no memory of a figure like Lu Changxing. A person of this caliber absolutely couldn't be unknown. Puchi. In that fleeting moment, the golden-winged heavenly pung attacked again, reaching the ghost bat true master, its golden claws stretching out, imprisoning the void of heaven and earth. Boom. The ghost bat true master directly unleashed his netherworld blood pool. A massive amount of blood water and blood-colored bats appeared, sweeping across hundreds of feet. But the golden-winged heavenly pang now truly embodied the power to break through all methods with brute force. Its claws tore through the heavens and the earth. Any means seemed futile in front of it, and the ghost bat true master could only flee in disarray. 9 treasures Rui Bone, speed. Practicing ghost path and blood path cultivation techniques, the ghost bat true master excelled in fleeing, and Lu Changxing, wanting to pursue, must now activate his divine skills for empowerment. Squeak, squeak, squeak. The ancient blood bat roared furiously, attempting to disrupt and influence Lu Changxing, but was extremely wary of his yin-yang great mingling millstone, not daring to get too close. After all, if it intercepted at the cost of injury, and by the time Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly peng gave up on the ghost bat true master, turning to encircle and kill it, the danger would be high. At this moment, the ancient blood bat suddenly transformed into a beam of blood light, turning to attack Chu Qingyi. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1425. After reaching the level of a third-rank demon king, they already possess spiritual intelligence and noticed that Chu Qingyi's battle strength is relatively inferior. They can interfere with Lu Changxing through Chu Qingyi. Qingyi, be careful. Although Lu Changxing does not fear this ancient blood bat, he is well aware of its formidable power. The sonic soul attack is difficult for ordinary nascent soul cultivators to withstand. Even if Chu Qingyi possesses sword heart clarity and a superior grade gold core, she would still be affected and disturbed. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Changxing immediately exerted his full strength to suppress the ancient blood bat with the yin-yang mixed whole great mill, as if trying to draw it into a black hole funnel. However, the ancient blood bat roared, and endless blood light spread. Its massive body turned into countless tiny blood bats, appearing instantly 100 feet away, making it difficult for Lu Changxing's divine skill to suppress it. Chu Qingyi bit her lip, her face cold and determined. Originally, she thought of coming here to assist Lu Changxing in some way. Unexpectedly, now not only did she fail to help, she seemed to become a burden. Otherwise, Lu Changxing and the golden ping bird could have completely suppressed Ghost Bat True Master. Her expression resolute, she steadied her mental spirit, and with a swift motion, her azure flying sword shot forth like a long rainbow, swirling with fierce and domineering chi, slashing toward the ancient blood bat. Splat! However, facing Chu Qingyi's sword, the ancient blood bat showed no fear, neither dodging nor evading, letting it strike its body. Only to see the terrifying bat body under the magical sword instantly, akin to flowing blood, straight through. What a strange technique. Chu Qingyi realized that she had struck the ancient blood bat, but it dissipated the power using its innate divine ability. Boom! Lu Changxing, with a black hole funnel above his head, surrounded by a purple-red fiery dragon, appeared godlike before Chu Qingyi, then blasted out a powerful punch, penetrating mountains and rivers. But the ancient blood bat, like Ghost Bat True Master, avoided direct confrontation with Lu Changxing, immediately evading, buying time, waiting for him to exhaust his strength. Lu Daoist, please take me into the Tianyuan lotus. Chu Qingyi, looking at Lu Changsheng's majestic figure, said with pursed lips. Seeing the situation at hand, she knew she could hardly assist Lu Changsheng and did not want to be a burden. All right. Lu Changsheng nodded. Without hesitation he raised his hand, and the Tianyuan lotus appeared, taking in Chu Qingyi. Chapter 1426. Swish, swish, swish. Above the heavenly dome, a blood-red rainbow streaked across the sky, rolling forward, permeating a terrifying chi mechanism. Brilliant golden light continuously tore through the blood rainbow, causing endless blood to rain down from the sky, corroding the land. Damn it! Ghost Bat True Master looked deathly pale, his blood-colored magical robe in tatters. Since he broke through core formation, he hadn't been so grievously injured, killed in such a miserable and wretched manner. Today not only did he perform the substitution tribulation technique, but also the blood-burning technique, burning his origin source. Even though the blood path cultivation technique he practiced makes recovery easier than for other cultivators, it would still take at least a dozen years to recuperate. Pshhh. Golden claws extended, piercing the heavens and earth, imprisoning the void, almost tearing Ghost Bat True Master's body apart, with scarlet blood splattering. Quick, quick. Ghost Bat True Master looked toward the Yiming ghost sect ahead, never having felt such a short distance to be so far away. Woo woo woo. At this moment, Ghost Bat True Master suddenly heard the sounds of 10,000 ghosts howling, immediately showing joy. Sect Master. A tall, imposing man with deep-set eyes, an eagle nose and sharp falcon eyes, wearing a black brocade robe, arrived piloting a blood-stained black ghost ship. Great Elder. Yiming Ghost King was deeply moved by the scene before him, filled with horror. He was well aware of his Great Elder's strength. Even he, the Sect Master, was no match. At this moment, the Great Elder was being chased so miserably and wretchedly by a golden peng bird. Moreover, hadn't the Great Elder just left? How did he end up in such a sorry state in such a short time? Nether Ghost Boat suppress. Yiming Ghost King didn't hesitate, his core formation late-stage magical power surged, and the black ghost ship beneath him roared like 10,000 ghosts, emitting a terrifying demonic might to suppress all things, charging towards the golden-winged heavenly peng. This Nether Ghost Boat is a top-level magical treasure. Wherever it passed, the sky collapsed and the earth shook, rumbling loudly, with endless netherworld ghost shadows appearing, chilling all hearts. Heavenly Peng subdues dragon technique. The golden-winged heavenly peng with a true dragon phantom above its head roared, exuding unmatched ferocity. Facing the ghost ship, it was fearless, its metallic claws glowing cold as the heavenly peng and true dragon launched, seemingly cleaving the heavens and earth asunder. Boom boom boom. The clash of two terrifying forces immediately stirred up towering waves, engulfing the firmament. From afar, one could only see the tumultuous golden sea and dark ghost energy rising and falling, as if brewing a world-destroying scene. Go, don't get entangled with it. Ghost Bat True Master came aboard the Nether Ghost Boat, his face white as a sheet, hurriedly saying to Yiming Ghost King. This golden-winged heavenly peng was too savage. Even his life-bound magic treasure, Netherworld Blood Pool, had developed cracks. Even though the solidity of the Nether Ghost Boat was superior to his Netherworld Blood Pool, it couldn't suppress the golden-winged heavenly peng. If the fight continued, Yiming Ghost King could end up seriously injured. Currently, the Supreme Elder was in closed-door cultivation, preparing to reach nascent soul. If both of them were gravely injured, the Yiming Ghost sect would fall into an extremely weak state, possibly affecting the Supreme Elder's breakthrough. Go. Without needing Ghost Bat True Master to say more, Yiming Ghost King already intended to retreat. The ghost ship under his feet trembled, with mottled bloodstains flowing, forming eerie and ominous rune patterns, crossing over towards the Yiming Ghost sect. However, how could the golden-winged heavenly peng allow the two to leave so easily? At this moment, it was not only under Lu Changsheng's orders but also unwilling to stop after displaying unmatched ferocity, wanting to tear the two into pieces and devour them. Boom boom boom, golden killing light constantly burst forth, its flames surging to the heavens, tyrannical and peerless, continuously bombarding the Nether Ghost Boat, each strike shattering the void, shaking heaven and earth. If it were an ordinary magical treasure, it would have been torn to shreds by the golden-winged heavenly peng by now. Great Elder, what exactly happened? Yinming Ghost King infused his core formation magical power madly into the Nether Ghost boat, asking his great elder. He wanted to know how he provoked such a supreme demon king. I don't know either. Ghost Bat True Master's face was ghostly pale, the spiritual light on his blood-colored magical robe was dim and damaged, nearly ruined. He felt aggrieved and speechless, not knowing how he had provoked such a fiend as Lu Changxing. I am the sect master of the Yiming Ghost sect. I wonder where my Yiming Ghost sect offended Taoist? Yiming Ghost King immediately shouted towards the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Though he could ask the Supreme Elder to leave seclusion and wield the myriad ghosts' blood pool, he was confident in suppressing the golden Peng bird. Yet after a brief encounter he sensed the golden-winged heavenly Peng was the fastest in the world. Even his Nether Ghost boat couldn't shake it off by a fraction. In which case, unless his sect laid an ambush, utilizing the Great Formation to suppress it. Otherwise, if the other side wanted to escape, his sect couldn't stop them. The golden-winged heavenly Peng remained silent. Its job was just to show its might, negotiations had nothing to do with it. Boom boom boom, a body glowing with dazzling golden light, it was like a golden sun, bursting with a ferocious and oppressive presence, bombarding the Nether Ghost boat, causing a tremendous racket. A moment later, the golden-winged heavenly Peng and Nether Ghost boat arrived before a gloomy mountain range filled with ghostly energy and dense dark clouds. This was the mountain gate of the Yiming Ghost sect. What is happening? Who dares to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost sect? What's going on today? First, a core formation cultivator infiltrated the sect, causing Ghost Princess and Ghost Shadow Elder to leave, and afterwards, both the Great Elder and Sect Master left the sect too? Cultivators at the Yiming Ghost sect immediately sensed the terrifying chi mechanism spreading across the heavens. Some patrolling chi refinement cultivators felt an overwhelming weight on their bodies, trembling uncontrollably, gasping for breath. This level of combat, even at a great distance, just a few strands of suppressive aura, was an immense pressure on them. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1427, Not Good. That's the sect master's Yinming Ghost boat. The false core immortal stationed at the mountain gate saw the Yinming Ghost boat, his heart terrified, face full of disbelief. Absolutely couldn't believe that their own sect master had been pushed to the gate of the mountain. It's simply too terrifying, inconceivable. Hurry, activate the mountain protection array. This false core immortal quickly regained his composure and shouted loudly. Then took out a token and injected mana into it wildly. Boom boom boom. In an instant the entire Yiming Ghost sect roared, endless ghost energy rose and spread, sealing off the entire sky. The mountain protection array of the Yiming Ghost sect usually operates daily and is a third-rank superior grade entity. But with the advantage of the terrain, its power is not weaker than that of a top-grade third rank. At this moment, operating at full power, its aura climbed step by step, with endless demonic clouds and ghost fog appearing. Under the sealed sky, ghost soldiers and generals faintly appeared. Buzz. At this time, a nascent soul immortal took over control of the formation, continuously making gesture incantations with both hands, causing a ghost king with a blue face and fangs, body like a mountain, to appear in the endless ghost fog. For such a mountain protection array, it must be controlled by a nascent soul immortal or a top-level formation master to operate at full power. Roar roar roar. The Ghost King roared, emitting a rapid and violent deafening sound containing a heart-stopping chi mechanism, stirring waves of wind. Ah, my head hurts. Quickly cover your ears. This roar didn't harm the golden-winged heavenly Peng, but it made many disciples of the Yiming Ghost sect pale, covering their ears, and some even had their bodies explode. This attack wasn't aimed at them, but the sonic onslaught was too terrifying, inevitably affecting some in the rush. The Ghost King's eyes and pupils were blood-red, like Abi Hell, an endless sea of blood, filled with infinite ferocity and dominance. In its hand appeared a simple and dark Hell's long spear, like a ruling underworld god, attacking the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Buzz buzz buzz. The spear tore through the void, forming terrifying vortices like an underworld wanting to pull other souls into it. Other ghost soldiers and generals at this moment formed into countless troops, attacking like a torrent of energy to suppress the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Heavenly Peng battling dragon diagram. The body of the golden-winged heavenly Peng glittered brilliantly, like a burning Jianghu, with the heavenly ping battling dragon diagram above its head weaving and evolving, radiating an unparalleled sharpness. Although it lacked a core formation law domain, this divine skill, the heavenly ping battling dragon diagram could counter countless law domain phenomena. Clang! The talons of the golden-winged heavenly ping entangled with the true dragon phantom clashed with the long spear, causing a piercing metallic clang. The true dragon roared. Ghosts wailed and gods howled. The void erupted with continuous thunderous sounds. The golden dragon patterned divine light and the dark hell's long spear frantically clashed, intertwining and merging unsolvably. Terrifying energy shockwaves raged above and below, tearing the space into cracks, with the land continuously breaking and collapsing. However, in this process, the true dragon phantom on the talons of the golden-winged heavenly ping gradually dimmed. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly ping realized it couldn't outlast this fourth-rank Grand Array's Ghost King. But at this moment, its instinctual unwillingness had been triggered. The heavenly ping battling dragon diagram weaved and evolved above its head, radiating brilliant divine light, making its body seem to ignite with a blazing golden divine flame. What kind of bloodline demon beast is this so terrifying? It looks somewhat similar to a gold-winged great rock? Could it be a bloodline reversion of a golden-winged great rock? Many cultivators of the Yiming Ghost sect were horrified and dumbstruck upon seeing this scene. Even the Yiming Ghost King and Ghost Bat True Master felt a shiver in their hearts, feeling deeply unsettled when looking at this golden-winged heavenly ping. Too terrifying. One must know this is a fourth-rank Grand Array. Though this Ghost King's power isn't as strong as a nascent soul True Lord, it is comparable to a nascent soul, practically a quasi-fourth rank. But now this golden-winged heavenly ping could actually confront the Ghost King, simply unimaginable. Fellow Taoist, I'm not sure where my Yiming Ghost sect has offended you. Could there be some misunderstanding between us? The Yiming Ghost King suppressed his inner anger and spoke to the golden-winged heavenly ping. Although being attacked at their mountain gate was extremely vexing. But he was keenly aware that it wouldn't be easy to keep this golden-winged heavenly ping unless they fought bitterly. The golden-winged heavenly ping still remained silent, radiating fierce might. This demon king is someone else's spiritual pet, perhaps well known when this person arrives. Beside him, the Ghost Bat True Master clutched his chest, speaking pale-faced. He sensed his ancient blood bat nearing, about to arrive. Spiritual pet. The Yiming Ghost King's face was extremely grave. To be able to tame such a spiritual pet, this person's strength is beyond doubt. He just noticed their great elder's ancient blood bat absent, realizing something was amiss. Before long, a massive black hole funnel swirled in the sky, seeming ready to crush all under it. Looking closely below the funnel, a figure stood tall, with starlight flowing beneath their feet. Golden Ping, come back. Lu Changxing looked at the golden ping engaging with the Yiming Ghost sect's Grand Array and called out. His soul was sharp, sensing the terror of this Grand Array before him. The chi mechanism was immense, mighty and vast. Even though he had the fate-defying robe, unsealing divine light, and dozens of third-rank prohibition-breaking talismans, facing this fourth-rank Grand Array, he feared it wouldn't be enough to break through. However, seeing that the Yiming Ghost sect only engaged with the golden-winged heavenly ping through the Grand Array and no one else acted or set up battle formations, it confirmed his suspicion. As long as he demonstrated power and had enough combat strength, the Yiming Ghost sect would also be wary. If they're not certain they can kill him, they won't want to fight to the death. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1428. The golden-winged heavenly ping let out an unwilling cry, clashing with the netherworld long spear in a thunderous explosion, shattering the void continuously, with surging energy sweeping in a pulsating manner in all directions. It then turned into a golden arc and returned beneath Lu Changxing's feet, its fierce might unparalleled. Hiss. 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 All the cultivators of the Yiming Ghost sect were shocked and dumbfounded, unable to believe their eyes upon witnessing this. Such an ultimate demon king was actually someone else's mount. What's going on with this world? However, they also felt a sense of dread upon seeing the slowly rotating black hole funnel above Lu Changxing's head. They felt that without the protection of the sect's Grand Array, their physical bodies and souls would be crushed to dust. Chirp chirp chirp. At this moment on the other side the ancient blood bat, filled with fear, avoided Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly peng, flying towards the Yiming ghost sect. In fact, its speed was no slower than Lu Changxing's. It only feared that if it went ahead, it would be blocked by the golden-winged heavenly peng and Lu Changxing. Who are you? The Yiming ghost king, dressed in a black brocade robe, stood majestically on the ghost ship and spoke in a deep voice. I am Yang Ming. Your sect's ghost demon true master, as a nascent soul cultivator, shamelessly attacked my son, leaving him half-crippled. I have come to your Yiming ghost sect to demand an explanation. Lu Changxing, clad in a dark brocade robe, with the formless treasure wheel in his mind like a blazing golden sun, exuded an extraordinary heroic aura, standing atop the brilliantly radiant golden-winged heavenly peng with a composed and majestic demeanor. What? Ghost demon true master? The Yiming ghost king and ghost bat true master were taken aback, somewhat bewildered. They never expected the person before them to come for the ghost demon true master. For the sake of a ghost demon true master, did you really have to let the golden-winged heavenly peng attack so recklessly? Ghost bat true master felt utterly aggrieved. Having just seen Lu Changxing subdue the ghost princess and ghost shadow true master, he thought Lu Changxing was colluding with Chu Qingyi to plot against their sect. But you say you came for the ghost demon true master. Buzz. Lu Changxing lightly raised his hand, and Chu Qingyi and Lu Chuanjun emerged from the Tianyuan lotus onto the golden-winged heavenly peng. Huh? Chu Qingyi and Lu Chuanjun, witnessing the situation before them, were both astonished. They did not expect Lu Changxing to actually arrive at the gates of the Yiming ghost sect. This was a provocation, a blatant provocation to any power. However, seeing the Yiming ghost sect's mountain protection array fully activated yet not attacking, they realized something was amiss. Although Lu Changxing had already clashed with the Yiming ghost sect, he wasn't engaging in full-scale battle, indicating negotiations were ongoing. Chu Qingyi keenly noticed the ghost bat true master on the Yiming ghost ship. Seeing the Yiming ghost sect's great elder with a pale face, devoid of color, and his blood-red magical robe dim and tattered, she was deeply puzzled. There was no need to guess, such methods were Lu Changxing's doing. Lu Changxing had inflicted such misery on this ghost bat true master. No wonder the Yiming ghost sect was willing to sit down and negotiate. Because if they weren't confident in dealing with Lu Changxing, enmity would lead to endless troubles. Hand over the ghost demon true master. Lu Changxing continued, his indifferent voice like rumbling thunder echoing through the skies and earth. Taoist, you subdued 2 of our Yiming ghost sect's nascent soul cultivators, and now you demand people from our sect. Isn't this too overbearing? The ghost bat true master's voice was icy and bone-chilling. Even though he was displeased with the ghost demon true master, the latter was still his sect's nascent soul cultivator. If bullied to their doorstep and the ghost demon true master handed over, the Yiming ghost sect would become a complete laughing stock, with its reputation plummeting. Moreover, with such an event, how could other disciples still serve the sect? How would guest elders and tributes be willing to join their Yiming ghost sect? Overbearing? Your Yiming ghost sect, shamelessly bullying the young, attacked my son, assaulted my wife, and you call me overbearing? Since your Yiming ghost sect isn't willing to give me an explanation, then don't blame me for being shameless. Lu Changxing sneered coldly, speaking in a chilling tone. Faced with this Yiming ghost sect, he indeed had no choice. But if your Yiming ghost sect had the ability, then never leave the gates. Why is he spouting nonsense again? Originally tense-faced, Chu Qingyi felt her heart skip a beat upon hearing Lu Changxing's words, looking at him with slight annoyance. But seeing Lu Changxing's profound gaze and composed demeanor, standing alone against the Yiming ghost sect, she couldn't help but lightly press her red lips and lower her head. Taoist acting in such a manner, aren't you disregarding our Yiming ghost sect? The Yiming ghost king's face was unsightly, his late-stage core formation mana surging up and down. The nascent soul cultivator in charge of the mountain protection array saw this and immediately fully operated the array, with rolling mist moving as if sealing the heavenly dome. With a green face and tusks like a mountain, the ghost king roared ferociously, clutching the hell's long spear, staring fixedly at Lu Changxing, forming an indescribable terrifying presence. Boom. However, Lu Changxing was completely fearless, with surging and majestic magical power mechanism flowing, as the yin-yang mixed whole great mill above crushed the firmament, directly tearing a rift in the demon cloud-covered sky. Since I dared to come to your Yiming ghost sect, I naturally have some confidence in my divine skills. Hand over the ghost demon true master. Lu Changxing's face remained calm and indifferent as he spoke coldly. The Yinming Ghost King and Ghost Bat True Master's faces were quite unsightly. The golden-winged heavenly Peng alone rendered them helpless, requiring reliance on the sect's array. And Lu Changxing emanated an aura that made them feel danger. Knowing that the opponent dared to come knocking, his means were undoubtedly extraordinary. In this situation, they must request that the Supreme Elder come out to have a chance of resolution. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1429. But now the Supreme Elder is in closed-door cultivation, and even if he emerges he may not be able to suppress Lu Changxing and the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Moreover, Lu Changxing still has 2 nascent soul immortals from the Yiming Ghost sect under his control. For any sect, nascent soul immortals are incredibly precious and are top-level combat power. If they lose 2 nascent soul immortals, it would be a severe loss of primordial energy for the Yiming Ghost sect, especially at such a critical juncture. Notify Ghost Demon True Master to come over. The Yinming Ghost King, after his expression fluctuated between gloom and brightness, said in a deep voice. Yes, Sect Master. A false core immortal hurriedly responded and headed to the cave mansion of the Ghost Demon True Master. Moments later, the Ghost Demon True Master, with a pale face and somewhat disordered magic aura, arrived at the mountain gate, somewhat bewildered. He had been attacked by the old demon Jintian a few days ago and had just returned to the sect, recuperating and healing. He never expected that someone would come to seek an explanation from him. Their sect, after all, was one of the 3 great demon sects of the Jin Kingdom. Who would dare cause trouble at their sect? He saw Lu Chuanjun on the golden-winged heavenly Peng. His scarlet eyes suddenly contracted, not expecting Lu Chuanjun to be the one causing trouble. Ghost Demon True Master, the other party claims you attacked and severely damaged his son's foundation. Is this true? The Yinming Ghost King looked at the Ghost Demon True Master and said in a deep voice. Reporting to the sect master, this child killed my son, so I attacked him. The Ghost Demon True Master replied hoarsely and firmly. Taoist Yang Ming, this matter arose because of your son. How can you put the blame on our sect? The Yinming Ghost King immediately said, his voice icy and chilling. Humph, if this old dog hadn't provoked my son, would such an incident have been caused? Moreover, I would not intervene in disputes among the younger generation. He issued a bounty and dispatched over a dozen Foundation establishment cultivators to hunt my son, and I didn't say a word. But as a nascent soul cultivator to attack my son and cripple his foundation, isn't that going too far? As Lu Changxing spoke, the yin-yang mixed whole great mill above his head trembled violently, stirring the winds and clouds across the 9 heavens, tearing and crushing the canopy of the sky, with a momentum that was ferocious and terrifying. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly Peng seemed to sense its master's anger and screeched to the sky. The heavenly Peng battling dragon diagram interweaved and spread, and countless golden divine feathers arranged neatly, like a golden ocean, with a chi mechanism that was terrifying and a killing intent that was shocking. Upon hearing these words, many disciples of the Yiming Ghost sect felt that the Ghost Demon True Master had indeed gone too far. Duel among the younger generation should remain among them. If everyone used their seniority to bully the young, there would be no need for any force to cultivate future generations. Furthermore, if the other party's son could remain unscathed among so many peers, it meant he was a top-tier prodigy. Such a prodigy ending up with his foundation half-crippled. No wonder there was such anger. At this moment, many Foundation establishment disciples of the Yiming Ghost sect felt a wave of worry and fear in their hearts. They feared that Lu Changxing might also use his seniority to bully the young and take action against them, the Foundation establishment cultivators. If that were the case, they might not need to leave the sect anymore. Taoist Yang Ming, it can't be put that way. Your son killed the son of the Ghost Demon True Master, and killed several disciples of our Yiming Ghost sect. He must bear some responsibility. Although the Ghost Demon True Master was wrong as a parent, you should know the pain of losing a child. Why not let Ghost Demon True Master offer compensation and apologize to the young friend? Wouldn't that be better? The Yinming Ghost King tried to soften his tone, transforming Lu Changxing's conflict into one between him and the Ghost Demon True Master. In this way, it would not overly affect the reputation of their Yiming Ghost sect afterward. The face of the Ghost Demon True Master beside him was ugly, but he did not dare to say anything. After all, he had caused such a big trouble for the sect, and if it could not be resolved, his own future in the sect would not be pleasant. Moreover, being able to resolve this grievance now is good, otherwise if Lu Changxing held a grudge, who knows how he might die, and it's not possible to hide in the sect and isolate himself indefinitely. Does Taoist think that I would care about such compensation? Lu Changxing said indifferently, his expression still cold. This sect master naturally believes Taoist does not lack such compensation, but it is merely some compensation for your son. Of course, if Taoist has any additional conditions, feel free to voice them. The Yiming Ghost sect saw that Lu Changxing did not take action and was willing to dialogue, so they came with purpose. Moreover, he saw that Lu Chuanjin on the golden-winged heavenly Peng had a disordered aura and blood-red eyes, as if eroded by blood fiend, guessing that Lu Changxing might want to resolve the issue through their side. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1430, My son has been harmed by this old dog, the blood fiend eroding his foundation, almost half ruined. If your sect can resolve this matter, then we can continue discussions. If you cannot resolve it, then there's no need to talk further. Lu Changxing spoke coldly, the yin-yang mixed whole great millstone hovering above his head spinning endlessly, its supreme power reversing life and death and yin-yang, threatening to engulf this realm. His primary objective on this journey was to solve Lu Quanzhen's physical condition. To see if the Yiming Ghost sect had a way to resolve it. Blood fiend invading the body? May I take a look at your son? The Yiming Ghost King squinted his eyes, looking toward Lu Chuanjin, speaking in a deep voice. Since Lu Changxing came with an agenda as he speculated, then the issue becomes easier to tackle. The greatest fear was that the other party sought vengeance for his son, leading to a fight to the death. Especially with one possessing such overwhelming combat strength, whose background and origins remain unknown. That's fine. The formless treasure wheel rotated behind Lu Changxing's head, gently opening a tiny gap in the yin-yang mysterious divine light enveloping Lu Chuanjin. Buzz, instantaneously Lu Chuanjin felt a deep and terrifying aura, akin to an abyss in hell. This wasn't directed at him but was the suppressive presence of the Yiming Ghost sect's fourth-rank Grand Array. Even a mere wisp of its aura is incredibly terrifying for Qi refinement and Foundation establishment cultivators. Soon a divine sense probed toward him. Lu Chuanjin offered no resistance, knowing it was the Yiming Ghost King's divine sense checking his physical condition. Indeed, it is netherworld blood evil. Not only has his physical body and mana been eroded by the blood fiend, but also his soul and Tao foundation. However, this situation seems somewhat like someone channeled the netherworld blood evil technique into him, resulting in a deviation and damage to his foundation. The Yiming Ghost King's brow furrowed, finding Lu Quanzhen's situation quite peculiar. Ordinary individuals would never be eroded by the netherworld blood evil to such an extent. Or rather, being eroded to this degree would have long resulted in death. It would be impossible to still be alive. When he wanted to examine Lu Quanzhen's situation more profoundly, a grand and vast divine sense appeared, isolating and repelling his own divine sense. This person's divine sense. The Yiming Ghost King's heart suddenly jolted, then looked at Lu Changxing with a face full of shock. He had cultivated Ghost Tao cultivation techniques, and his divine sense was unlike that of ordinary people, already comparable to the core formation peak. Yet, in front of Lu Changxing's divine sense momentarily, he felt small, and couldn't help but suspect Lu Changxing's divine sense had already reached nascent soul level. This was very astonishing. Although core formation peak and nascent soul were separated by a thin line, they were vastly different. If in the core formation stage one possesses nascent soul divine sense, it's simply shocking. Suppressing the shock in his heart, he said in a deep voice, "Your son's foundation is entangled by the blood fiend, his foundation damaged. I deeply apologize. If you wish for a resolution, there are two options available." The Yiming Ghost King spoke as such while simultaneously sending a transmission to the Ghost Demon True Master to inquire about Lu Quanzhen's situation. "Sect Master, I am not clear on this matter either." The Ghost Demon True Master felt extremely aggrieved at this moment. Not only did his son die at Lu Quanzhen's hands, but also the disciples sent to hunt him ended up dead. Then he, a revered nascent soul immortal, proactively took on a Foundation establishment junior, only for his pursuit of revenge to quickly be interrupted by his old adversary Jintian Old Demon, leading to severe injuries. Now he was being approached by the other party's elder, feeling utterly frustrated and annoyed. Jintian old demon, 5 poisons cult's heavenly spider emissary? The Yiming Ghost King furrowed his brows upon hearing this. He was somewhat aware of the matters between Jintian old demon and Ghost Demon True Master. But why was Nangong Mealy involved? What are the options? Lu Changsheng's voice was deep and robust as he spoke. Firstly, if your son wishes to switch to cultivating the Netherworld Blood Evil technique, our sect can use the Myriad Ghost's blood pool to assist him in cultivating this technique, thus neutralizing the blood fiend. The Yiming Ghost King spoke up. These sect cultivation techniques are not passed outside. But should Lu Chuanjin transition to the Netherworld Blood Evil technique, he will have ties with their Yiming Ghost sect. Subsequent cultivation techniques, divine abilities, magical treasures, all would rely on their Yiming Ghost sect. Then through these they could turn animosities into friendship with Lu Changxing or even make him indebted. However, he also knew the likelihood of the other party choosing this option was very small and wouldn't agree. Aside from this, our Yiming Ghost sect has another cultivation technique that can resolve your son's Netherworld blood evil. However, this technique is difficult to cultivate, has certain risks, and considering your son's current state, it is somewhat troublesome to cultivate. The Yiming Ghost King continued. The Netherworld blood evil originated from their Yiming Ghost sect, so naturally they have methods to resolve it. The simplest method would merely require Lu Chuanjin to enter the Myriad Ghost's blood pool and invest a vast amount of heavenly and earthly treasures to easily resolve it. However, such supreme treasures, methods would never be used for outsiders. What cultivation technique? Lu Changxing inquired. Whoosh! The Yiming Ghost King produced a black jade slip in hand, shooting it swiftly toward Lu Changxing. Lu Changxing lightly raised his hand, easily but heavily grasping the jade slip, scanning it with his divine sense, instantly seeing through it a cultivation technique, Netherworld King technique. This cultivation technique doesn't expel and dissipate the Netherworld blood evil, but refines it for one's own use. However, to transform the blood fiend into personal use, one must cultivate this technique to the second level. But given Lu Quanzhen's current physical state, let alone reaching the second level, just cultivating this technique itself is quite challenging. If Taoist Yang Ming chooses this method, our sect can also provide a Vajra Sharira as compensation. This Sharira can suppress the Netherworld blood evil, balance your son's physical body, and assist in cultivating this technique. The Yiming Ghost King spoke, demonstrating ample sincerity. Primarily, he truly wished to avoid entanglements with the ominous star that is Lu Changxing, preferring to send him away swiftly. Vajra Sharira? Lu Changxing raised an eyebrow. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1431. Back then, after obtaining the Brahmin Demon True Saint technique, cultivation required heavenly demon blood, demonic Tao origin, and Buddhist relic, so he slightly learned about the Buddhist relic. He knew that in Jiang country, Yu country, and this area of Jin kingdom, there was simply no Buddhist sect presence. Unexpectedly, this Yiming Ghost sect actually had the Buddhist Vajra Sharira. It can only be said that a sect with thousands of years of heritage and accumulation truly has an extraordinary foundation. Among the sect treasure vault were many rare heavenly and earthly treasures hardly seen by the outside world. What grade? Lu Changxing inquired. In fact, on seeing this Netherworld King technique, he was somewhat confident in solving the Lu Chuanjin issue. Currently Lu Quanzhen's body was too weak. But as long as he continuously healed him with the healing divine light and Lu Miage's Tai True Water, Lu Quanzhen's body could be gradually nurtured. Once Lu Quanzhen's body improved sufficiently to slightly suppress the Netherworld blood evil, he could attempt to cultivate this Netherworld King technique. However, upon hearing about the Vajra Sharira, Lu Changxing was also interested in seeing it. Third-rank Vajra Sharira, used a few times with some energy consumed, but enough to suppress the blood evil in your son's body. The Yiming Ghost King said thus, then signaled someone to fetch this Vajra Sharira. Take a look at this cultivation method. Lu Changxing handed the Netherworld King technique in his hand to Lu Chuanjin for him to see himself. Netherworld King technique. Lu Chuanjin recognized that this was a body refinement method, turning the blood evil for his own use. The only problem was that his current condition made it hard to cultivate. Or else, after cultivation his body might undergo other changes. Father? Lu Chuanjin immediately expressed his concern. Lu Changxing nodded in acknowledgement. Daoist, please see. A moment later, the Yinming Ghost King held a brocade box in his hand. Upon opening it, inside was a thumb-sized milky white bead emitting a faint golden glow. Is this the Vajra Sharira? Lu Changsheng's eyes lit up, shooting out two beams of golden light, looking at this Vajra Sharira. He could see that this Vajra Sharira somewhat resembled the nascent soul of cultivators and the inner core of demon beasts. However, as the Yinming Ghost King said, this relic had been used several times, with its energy somewhat depleted. In that case, as long as that old dog agrees to one more condition of mine, this matter will rest here. Lu Changxing nodded, looking at the ghost demon true master beside the Yinming Ghost King, his eyes gleaming fiercely. The ghost demon true master, upon being gazed at by Lu Changxing, immediately felt a chill, as if facing a formidable enemy, and instinctively retreated a step. Danger. With a simple look, he could feel a terrifying danger as if his life was soon to end. Damn, with a father like this kid has, who knew not to mention it earlier. The ghost demon true master cursed silently in his heart. What condition? The Yinming Ghost King, clad in a black brocade robe, exuded authority without anger, his core formation late-stage mana surged, and his aura was not weak. Very simple, this old dog likes to bully the weak. This seat will not bully him. Just let him withstand 3 moves from me. Lu Changxing spoke with a calm and indifferent demeanor. He also knew, hoping for Yiming Ghost Sect to hand over the Ghost Demon True Master was impossible. Unless he completely overpowered Yiming Ghost Sect, no faction would make such a decision. At these words, the scene immediately erupted. All cultivators glanced at the golden-winged heavenly pang under Lu Changxing, then at the black hole funnel above him, grinding the universe and the sun and the moon, and finally at the Ghost Demon True Master, their faces twitching. Even knowing the Ghost Demon True Master as a nascent soul cultivator, cultivating the blood path cultivation technique with tenacious life force, they didn't think he could withstand 3 moves from Lu Changxing. This is impossible. The Ghost Demon True Master shouted loudly. Not to mention that he was already injured. Even in peak condition, he dared not face 3 moves from Lu Changxing head-on. His great elder, being a core formation late-stage existence, looked miserable and embarrassed at the moment. Going up to take 3 moves was tantamount to a death sentence. I have already made concessions on this matter. Daoist, do not go too far. Yinming Ghost King said in a deep voice. Though he felt the Ghost Demon True Master was somewhat disgraceful, it was impossible to have him take 3 moves now. After all, the obvious could see that under 3 moves, even if the Ghost Demon True Master didn't die, he would be reduced to a cripple. Too far? My son's foundation is half-wasted, lifespan greatly reduced. Even if the netherworld blood evil is resolved, his Dao foundation remains damaged, making future core formation difficult, and you call this excessive? Lu Changsheng's muscles burned with purple-red flames, as fierce as 100 Jianghu flood dragon coiled. Above his head, the yin-yang mixed whole great millstone spun furiously, bursting with endless black and white divine light, inverting the universe, disturbing yin and yang, shattering the void and twisting all things. Beside him, Chu Qingyi and Lu Chuanjun were shocked, feeling that under the great mill, the world withered. Roar, 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 Yiming Ghost Sect's mountain protection array prohibitions flowed. The Ghost King roared and howled as if a mountain, waving the hell's long robe in his hand, countless nether vortexes appeared. The clash of 2 intangible chi mechanisms swept the heavens and the earth in all directions, pressing the slowly moaning sky as if the world were lamenting. Daoist Yang Ming, I said, the Ghost Demon True Master will compensate for this matter. You may voice any compensation requirements. With fists clenched under his sleeves, the Yinming Ghost King suppressed his inner anger, wore a dignified expression and spoke in a deep voice. Father, the matter of the Ghost Demon True Master, I will personally resolve in the future. Please spare his life for now. At this moment, Lu Chuanjun also stepped forward to advise. He could see that today Father's desire to kill the Ghost Demon True Master was unattainable. Unless his power completely suppressed them, no faction would concede and sacrifice their sect elder. If the intimidation was too heavy, even if Father was unafraid, it might invite unnecessary trouble. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1432, All right. Lu Changsheng's expression was indifferent. After a moment of silence he said, Third rank lifespan extension pill, lifespan treasures, coagulation crystal elixir, top-level core formation spiritual object. That's impossible. Upon hearing this, Ghost Demon True Master immediately shouted loudly. Although the compensation would be covered by the sect for him, he would still have to repay it himself through contributions and sect tasks. Resources like the third-rank lifespan extension pill and coagulation crystal elixir are strategic-level resources, with immeasurable value. He already lacked resources, making it difficult to break through the core formation middle stage. If he owed these resources, there would be no hope of breaking through the core formation middle stage in his lifetime. Yinming Ghost King did not speak, turning to look at the Great Elder, Ghost Bat True Master, beside him. For such strategic-level resources as coagulation crystal elixir, even he as the sect master could not make the decision. Give it to him. Ghost Bat True Master said in a deep voice. He initially had some intention of procrastinating and consuming time. But after observing for so long without Lu Changsheng's mana dwindling, he realized there was a problem with the opponent. In such circumstances, if they let him escape, there wouldn't be a single person in the sect capable of defeating Lu Changsheng or the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Even if the Supreme Elder emerged, it would be of no use. Unless he constantly carried the Supreme Treasure Myriad Ghost's blood pool, he wouldn't be able to face Lu Changsheng and the Golden Ping Bird, and could only retreat. Thus, he was really unwilling to continue entangling with Lu Changsheng and harboring grievances. Consider it as spending money to avoid disaster. It's acceptable. On behalf of Ghost Demon True Master, he'll offer another coagulation crystal elixir, a third-rank lifespan extension pill, and a core formation spiritual object as compensation. Yinming Ghost King glanced at Ghost Demon True Master beside him, spoke with a somewhat sullen and ugly expression. Today, being bullied to the mountain gate and forced to offer such compensation is an utter humiliation for him. It's likely that soon this matter will draw attention and discussion from other forces, leading to his sect's reputation falling greatly. Now, it's important to maintain stability. Once the Supreme Elder breaks through to nascent soul, all rumors will vanish like smoke, welcoming a major reckoning. Ghost Bat True Master, as if knowing what Yinming Ghost King was contemplating, spoke in a low voice. Today, arguably the most wretched would be him, this great elder of Yiming Ghost sect. But considering Lu Changsheng's strength and his sect's situation, he chose to swallow this indignation. Lu Changsheng was slightly surprised. He didn't expect Yiming Ghost sect to agree so readily. He initially thought a single third-rank lifespan extension pill or coagulation crystal elixir would suffice. Good. As Taoist said, with this compensation, this grievance shall cease. Lu Changsheng nodded, saying no more, knowing that this sort of matter shouldn't be pushed any further. Otherwise, if pushed too far, Yiming Ghost sect might directly use the Myriad Ghost's blood pool to pursue him, or even spend a great deal to enlist the nascent soul true lords from Five Poisons cult and Heavenly Corpse sect to take action. Since this matter's grievances have been resolved, shouldn't Yangming Taoist release the two elders you have suppressed from our sect? Yiming Ghost King looked at Lu Changsheng, speaking in a deep voice. He was willing to pay such a high price not only because he didn't want to continue entangling with Lu Changsheng but also because there were still two nascent soul cultivators in his hands. Lu Changsheng raised an eyebrow, his face serious as he said, "One thing at a time. This matter concerned the Ghost Demon True Master's attack on my son, and those two attacked my wife. How could it be dismissed so easily? Yangming Taoist, one must know restraint in their actions." Yiming Ghost King finally couldn't suppress the anger in his heart. Individually, they were indeed not a match for Lu Changsheng and the golden-winged heavenly Peng. But their Yiming Ghost sect has endured for thousands of years. Besides the supreme treasure Myriad Ghost's blood pool, they also have several secret treasures and killing devices. If employed properly, these could potentially annihilate Lu Changsheng. Lu Taoist, Chu Qingyi, seeing Lu Changsheng standing up for her, was touched and softly suggested there was no need for such actions. After all, truly infuriating Yiming Ghost sect would not benefit either side. Lu Changsheng squeezed her palm and said to Yiming Ghost King, "Two people, two coagulation crystal elixirs, you can redeem them." He knew that with the Ghost Demon True Master situation, Yiming Ghost sect had already conceded. He still wanted to extort more from the two, but Yiming Ghost sect wouldn't agree. After all, such matters involve not only resources as compensation but also face. That's impossible. Yiming Ghost King directly said coldly. This wasn't just unwillingness to take another step back. Coagulation crystal elixir is a strategic reserved resource, and their Yiming Ghost sect doesn't have many. If they took out 2 more for Lu Changxing, and the Supreme Elder falls or the sect encounters danger in the future, they wouldn't be able to cultivate new nascent soul immortals immediately. Lu Daoist like strategic level resources such as coagulation crystal elixir. Even Yiming Ghost sect reserves at most several, not too many. Chu Qingyi transmitted her voice to Lu Changxing. Coagulation crystal elixirs are strategic level resources for any force and cannot be supplied in unlimited quantities. Not possible for it to be written off like this. Daoist can name a price to redeem them. Lu Changxing spoke out, the formless treasure wheel at the back of his head spinning, opening the realm, suppressing the seductive beauty and ghost shadow true master beside him. This? The seductive beauty and ghost shadow true master were stunned and bewildered upon seeing the situation before them. What the heck? Isn't the great elder here to save us? How did this person come to our mountain gate, and the sect's grand array is operational? It's the ghost princess. Ghost shadow true master has also been suppressed by this man. Seeing this scene, the cultivators of Yiming Ghost sect were shocked, staring dumbfounded. The seductive beauty was fine, being merely an initial stage core formation cultivator. But Ghost Shadow True Master had long since broken through to the core formation middle stage, and having cultivated the netherworld myriad ghost art, even late-stage core formation cultivators would generally find it difficult to suppress him. Yet now he had been suppressed and captured by Lu Changxing. This was very astonishing, incredibly astonishing. At this moment, all the false core immortals and core formation cultivators on the scene had disdainful looks directed toward Ghost Demon True Master. If there were anything better to trouble, it brought such a calamity upon them. If this person disregarded martial virtues and lurked outside, hunting them down, none of them would be able to escape from Lu Changxing's grasp. Yiming Ghost King's mana was surging all over, his robe fluttering, wanting to directly activate the grand array and charge at Lu Changxing. But he forcibly suppressed his anger and looked at the great elder beside him. After consulting for a while, they were willing to offer 1 more coagulation crystal elixir and 3 ordinary core formation spiritual objects. Compared to coagulation crystal elixir for these top-level forces, core formation spiritual objects were not rare, they had normal production pathways. Agreed. Hearing this, Lu Changxing did not haggle. Immediately both sides exchanged vows. Yiming Ghost King gave the complete Netherworld King technique, Vajra Sharira, 1 coagulation crystal elixir, 3rd rank lifespan extension pill, and 1 top-level core formation spiritual object to Lu Changxing. Lu Changxing cast aside the suppressed seductive beauty and ghost shadow true master to Yiming Ghost King. Yiming Ghost King tossed 1 coagulation crystal elixir and 3 ordinary core formation spiritual objects to Lu Changxing. Given all this, grievances are settled. Lu Changxing said solemnly, then directly signaled the golden-winged heavenly peng to leave. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly peng screeched, its whole body radiant in gold, soaring in midair with spread wings, tearing through the sky, disappearing like a long rainbow. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. No wonder few dare to provoke these major forces. Not only do you need to crush them in strength, but you must be alone, without any weak points, otherwise it is too easy to leave hidden threats. Lu Changxing pondered in his mind, realizing that these top-level forces are very troublesome to deal with. Making sure there are no hidden risks and being foolproof is extremely difficult. Otherwise, once these forces get some clues, they might someday appear like a venomous snake coming up to bite you. If you don't have other items to confuse heavenly secrets, let Xuanzhen stay in the cave heaven as much as possible during this time. When I return, I will apply for a heavenly secrets jade from the sect, which can block heavenly secrets deductions. Chu Qingyi said softly. Although there are few who are proficient in divination deductions, one cannot be too careful. Therefore, the immortal sects have measures to prevent heavenly secrets deductions. Otherwise, if the sect's true inheritors or elders go out, and their general situation is deduced by enemy forces, wouldn't everything be in vain, even leading to interception and assassination? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1434, Alright, thank you, Qingyi. Lu Changxing held the other's delicate hand, feeling very touched. Actually, Lu Chuanjin only needed to return to Bai Lake Mountain, and the problem wouldn't be too significant. The mysterious heaven spiritual vine on Bai Yun Peak not only gathers fortune but also shields from heavenly secrets. However, given the good intentions of the beauty, he naturally wouldn't refuse. Qingyi, what do you plan to do next? Lu Changxing embraced the beauty and asked aloud. I came to the Jin Kingdom this time to investigate the matter of the Supreme Elder of the Yiming Ghost sect attempting to reach the nascent soul stage. Now that such a matter has arisen in the Yiming Ghost sect, they must be fully alert, and even the entire cultivation world of Jin Kingdom will be on edge, so I plan to return directly. Chu Qingyi fell silent for a moment, then sighed slightly. Her main purpose on this journey, besides her mission, was to temper her sword heart. But along the way to Jin Kingdom she had done quite a bit of demon slaying, yet her mind was still not completely clear, and she ended up in Lu Changxing's arms again. Especially recently, seeing Lu Changxing's unique side, her heart was stirred, and she felt restless and confused. In such a situation she felt there was no point in continuing to temper, and it was better to just go back. Lu Daoist, do you have anything else to do next? Chu Qingyi asked. Although she was avoiding Lu Changxing, she couldn't rest easy with him alone under the current circumstances. Thinking of staying by his side, she could look after him a bit. I still have some matters to attend to. If you're not in a hurry, we can go back together later. Lu Changxing planned to give some instructions to Nangong Meili and Meng Xiaochan before leaving Jin Kingdom. I'm not in a hurry. How is your condition right now? If you need my help with anything, just let me know. Chu Qingyi bit her red lip gently and said. In her view, Lu Changxing's outburst just now would require at least a year or half of recovery. I'm not in any major trouble. A little rest will suffice. Lu Changxing shook his head. The 9 treasures Rui Bone, compared to other blood-burning secret techniques, as long as it's within the bearable range of the physical body, won't cause much aftereffect, needing basically just 10 days to half a month of rest. The main thing is to go see Nangong Meili, otherwise this aftereffect will require at least 10 days to half a month of dual cultivation to heal. But the thought of going to see Nangong Meili now gave Lu Changxing a headache. After all, Chu Qingyi is a disciple of the righteous Immortal sects. If she knew about his entanglement with the heavenly spider of the 5 poisons cult, it might lead to a bad impression. Don't push yourself. Chu Qingyi didn't believe Lu Changxing wasn't in trouble. Alright, actually my condition is quite poor. If I rely on the Sun-Moon Samsara technique, it could alleviate it a bit, Lu Changxing whispered in her ear, his voice deep as he looked at the beauty with a cold exterior but a warm heart. Hearing this, Chu Qingyi's cheeks blushed instantly, burning hot and spreading to her ears. How could he be so inappropriate? Qingyi, can you help me? Lu Changxing looked at her, his voice weak. Chu Qingyi, although she felt Lu Changxing did it on purpose. But she knew the Sun-Moon Samsara technique, recognized its profound and mysterious wisdom, not only enhancing cultivation level, breaking through bottlenecks etc., but also for, if she used this technique to assist Lu Changxing, it would indeed help him. But in this way wouldn't she become even more tangled with him? It's nothing. Lu Changxing sighed with a hint of loneliness. After a long silence, Chu Qingyi said in a barely audible voice, just healing, what? Lu Changxing was stunned, not expecting Chu Qingyi to agree. He thought to himself that this sword immortal child was indeed a bit easy to trick. Of course, this also indicated that Chu Qingyi genuinely had feelings for him. Otherwise, why would she be willing to heal him like this? Sigh. Lu Changxing sighed inwardly, thinking that if it weren't for Xianxia and Yun Wanshang, his emotional journey with Chu Qingyi might have been much smoother. Thinking of this, he felt a bit troubled, unable to imagine how Chu Qingyi would react if she found out about his matters with Yun Wanshang. After all, compared to Xianxia, Chu Qingyi was raised by Yun Wanshang since childhood, with deeper feelings. Just healing, don't overthink. Chu Qingyi pressed her red lips, adding, yes, I know. Lu Changxing quickly responded. However, in the current situation, it's impossible for him to perform an internal cultivation session with Chu Qingyi in the 9th Heavenly Gang Wind Layer, indicating that leaving the Yiming Ghost Sect territory was the priority. Chu Qingyi would head to the Tianyuan Lotus first, while he used a secret technique to make the golden-winged Heavenly Peng leave swiftly. Be careful and notify me immediately if there are any issues. Chu Qingyi said, eyes full of concern. Don't worry. Lu Changxing smiled slightly. After Chu Qingyi entered the Tianyuan Lotus, he let out a long breath of turbid energy. Then, holding 2 superior-grade spirit stones, he sat cross-legged on the golden-winged heavenly peng, adjusting his breath, directing it to fly at full speed to the Immortal Spider Marketplace. Jianghu Country, Qingyun Region. A second-rank spirit boat with a golden sheen slowly descended outside by Lake Mountain. On the flying boat, a man and a woman stood side by side. The man looked about 20 years old, with sword-like eyebrows and star-like eyes, a tall figure, wearing a white golden robe, with an impressive and extraordinary presence. The woman appeared 18 or 19 years old, with a lovely appearance, slender figure, wearing a stunning rainbow feather garment, exuding a serene and elegant temperament. Finally we're back. Lu Qingshan looked at the by Lake Mountain before him and grinned. He and his sister had returned this time, and even though they traveled entirely by spiritual vessel, it was quite a hassle, taking a year. In truth, for him, the journey alone was reasonable, even allowing for leisurely sightseeing, but his sister was eager to return home. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1435. May I ask what brings the senior to our by Lake Mountain? The Lu family disciples stationed at the mountain gate saw the second-grade spirit boat and knew it was a foundation-building great cultivator, so they immediately cupped their hands and called out. Lu Qingshan found the disciples stationed at the mountain gate somewhat unfamiliar, slightly raised his sword-like eyebrows, tossed out his family token and said, Lu Qingshan. Lu Qingshan? The Lu family disciples were shocked upon hearing this. One of them immediately shouted, the third-generation disciple of the Lu family, Lu Xianchan, greets Uncle Qingshan. Greetings to Uncle Qingshan. The others also quickly paid their respects. Nowadays, most of the Lu family's second-generation disciples were managing family affairs. Tasks like guarding the mountain gate had been delegated to the third-generation disciples. Oh ho! Lu Qingshan heard this title, looked at the young men and women in front of him, slightly raised his eyebrows, and looked at his sister beside him, feeling somewhat nostalgic. It had been so many years since he and his sister left home, and the third-generation disciples in the family had grown so much. Although during his last visit, there were already some third-generation Lu family disciples, he only paid attention to his brother Lu Qingsang's newly born son and didn't really focus on others. Lu Qingshan nodded without saying anything further. Then the Lu family disciples invited Lu Qingshan and Lu Qingzhu into by Lake Mountain. When did the family acquire 2 more spirit veins? Upon entering by Lake Mountain, Lu Qingshan immediately sensed that the spiritual energy seemed much richer. Beside Bai Yun Peak there were also 2 small peaks. At a glance he recognized them as spirit peaks. In response to Uncle Qingshan, these peaks are named Xuanfu Peak and Balian Peak, cultivated 3 years ago. The Lu family disciple beside him immediately replied. Tieske, it seems the family is doing well. Lu Qingshan clicked his tongue and said, it's not easy to cultivate a spirit peak. If it were solely nurtured by a second-grade spirit vein, it might take centuries to produce a first-grade branch vein. But if you spend spiritual origin pearls, the kind of spiritual eye item, it might take 10 or more, which is no small amount. Besides the 2 spirit peaks, he noticed that whether it was the pavilions and buildings in by Lake Mountain or the family spirit fields, or the spirit plants on Lingsue Cliff, they all seemed brand new with significant changes compared to 10 years ago. 10 years may seem long. Yet for a family it's extremely short. In just 10 years, the family changes indicate that the family has been developing well in recent years. Seeing her brother so astonished, Lu Qingzhu chuckled lightly, as it had been a long time since anyone had managed to surprise her brother like this. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1436. Lu Family Mansion. Lu Qingshan and Lu Qingzhu listened to the various events of their family over the years, feeling immensely moved. However, upon hearing of their grandfather Lu Yuanding's passing, their expressions turned sorrowful. They knew when they last returned that their grandfather did not have much time left and that it was likely their final meeting. Even so, they couldn't hold back their grief upon hearing the news of his death. After all, in their childhood, The two siblings were almost entirely raised by Lu Yuanding, who cherished them dearly. Later, he'll go with you to Jianghu Mountain to pay respects to your grandfather. Lu Miaoge said gently. Yes. Lu Qingshan nodded, inquiring about the current situation on Jianghu Mountain. Jianghu Mountain has been doing quite well over the years. The development of Jianghu Mountain cannot naturally compare with Bai Lake Mountain. But compared to most foundation establishment families like Hundred Birds Lake, it is already quite good. In the early years, the newly promoted foundation establishment cultivator Lu Qinghua led some Lu family disciples to expand outward, rooted in the imperial spirit sex domain, and established a branch family. Although Lu Yuanzhong of the family is old and has retired to the background, the family has accumulated a lot of foundation over the years and can nurture new foundation establishment cultivators at any time. It's just that with Lu Muping stationed at Jianghu Mountain and the connection with Bai Lake Mountain, the need to cultivate foundation establishment cultivators is not urgent at the moment. They're waiting for a false core seed to consider. After all, what Jianghu Mountain needs now is to advance further, nurturing a promising Lu family disciple who might break through to the foundation establishment late stage or even false core. Simply adding one or two ordinary foundation establishments is not significant, and may even become a burden. Lu Qingshan nodded upon hearing this. Their grandfather always had the family's concerns at heart and hoped during their last conversation that he could help support them in the future. At this time, Lu Qingshan seemed to remember something and asked directly, "By the way, Aunt, is Sister Rui home?" "Rui is currently in charge of the family's business affairs, off and away. Why do you ask?" Lu Miaoge, gentle and graceful, responded. "Didn't Sister Rui give me a sword embryo before? So I prepared some things for her on this return trip." Lu Qingshan smiled as he spoke. "Rui can't come back for a while. If it's not urgent, I can later find out where she is for you to give it to her in person. If it's inconvenient, you can also leave it at home, and I can have someone send it to Rui later," Lu Miaoge said gently. "He'll head over later. Just as well I can see what the family's businesses are like. And I don't have much going on. I can also spend some time with little Bamboo. If there's anything at home you can call me," Lu Qingshan said with a smile. After hearing about the family's development over the years, he knew there would be quite a bit of resistance during the process and was willing to contribute to bolstering the family's influence. "All right, good." Lu Miaoge smiled softly and said, "The family banquet is almost ready. After you eat, rest for a while and later we will go to Jianghu Mountain." Even though it's a simple welcoming feast, both Lu Miaoge and Lu Miaoyun gathered all the Lu family disciples from Bai Lake Mountain. On one hand, the Lu family regularly organizes family banquets to let siblings meet more and strengthen their bonds. On the other hand, it's also to let Lu Qingshan and Lu Qingzhu get acquainted with other Lu family disciples. Lu Lingxiao approached and upon seeing Lu Qingshan, his eyes slightly narrowed, and his pupils showed a faint golden glow. Although the dragon roar physique he possessed had flaws, his eyes were extraordinary, and his cultivation of pupil skills far surpassed ordinary people. Ordinary cultivators found it difficult to disguise themselves before him. He could see through them at a glance. Even some foundation establishment late-stage cultivators' aura concealment techniques were somewhat noticeable to him. At this moment, upon seeing Lu Qingshan, he immediately sensed a peerless, earth-shaking sword intent. This sword intent was astonishing. Sharp and radiant like the rising sun, unstoppable and invincible. Looking at Lu Qingshan, he felt a slight sting in his eyes. Lu Lingxiao was surprised. In recent years he hadn't stayed home all the time and had seen many people. But he had never seen anyone with the sword intent momentum that Lu Qingshan possessed. Lu Qingshan, with sword heart clarity, also noticed Lu Lingxiao. Facing his eyes that shimmered with a golden glow, he raised an eyebrow. Lu Qingshan didn't have much impression of Lu Lingxiao. At this simple glance, he saw that Lu Lingxiao was indeed exceptional. In the Jinyang sect, he would at least be at the level of a core true inheritor. He couldn't help but think to himself, "It seems our family's genius rate is slightly high. Lingxiao, you should have met. This is your brother Qingshan and sister Qingzhu." Lu Miaoyun immediately smiled and introduced them. Both were geniuses of the Lu family, so in her view, they should naturally become closer. "I've met brother Qingshan and sister Qingzhu." Lu Lingxiao, knowing the two, slightly cupped his hands, but he didn't show much closeness. His personality was somewhat similar to his mother, Ling Zixiao, solitary and proud. Among all Lu family disciples, the person closest to him was Lu Wangshu, who was always at odds with him and more like a rival. Lu Lingxiao, Lu Qingshan repeated the name and said with a smile, "You are quite good." Lu Lingxiao detected a hint of condescension in the mild words from Lu Qingshan's smiling expression and inquired, "I heard Brother Qingshan is the first of Jinyang sect?" "Only the first among those of the same rank. It doesn't count as first of Jinyang sect," Lu Qingshan casually replied. Although he was the Qi Refinement Realm's trial swords first, now in the Foundation Establishment middle stage, he could still slay those in the Foundation Establishment late stage. But against the other Foundation Establishment late stage true inheritors of the Jinyang sect, he's not yet their equal, and he doesn't claim to be the first. But in his view, these were simply a matter of time. First among those of the same rank? Lu Lingxiao's golden shimmering eyes slightly narrowed, realizing the weight of such words. As one of the 5 great immortal sects in Yu country, for Lu Qingshan to be first among those of the same rank in Jinyang sect, this strength is unquestionable. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. I'm not in any major trouble. Besides, with the golden ping here, it doesn't affect anything. Lu Changxing smiled. Without his daughter's help, it's really not easy to completely melt this woman's heart. Previously he could be a little more forceful. But now that their relationship has deepened, it's naturally impossible to act like that anymore. Okay. Nangong Meili nodded, her beautiful and enchanting face cold and noble, very captivating. Looking at the cold Nangong Meili before him, Lu Changxing sighed helplessly, reached out to hold her fair jade-like hand and softly said, "Meili, would you be willing to come back to Bai Lake Mountain with me?" The distance between Jin Kingdom and Jiang country was far. Even with the golden-winged heavenly peng, it was impossible for him to come often. Moreover, Nangong Meili wanted to nurture her golden pill through him, which he naturally understood and was willing to help her nurture it, to deepen their emotional connection. But such matters require long-term effort. If he relied on occasional visits to Jin Kingdom, who knows how long it would take for Nangong Meili to advance to Golden Core. Therefore he was willing for Nangong Meili to visit Jiang country for a while. "I won't go." Nangong Meili refused outright. Even though she had accepted Lu Changxing to some extent, she couldn't just go live with him as a family. Besides, with this trip to the Tianyuan secret realm and obtaining resources for her daughter Nangong Yaoyao, she could cultivate to the core formation 6th layer peak. "Once I head back, I don't know when he'll be able to come again. You're currently just barely at half-step golden core. If you want to break through to core formation late stage early, you should aim to advance to superior grade gold core sooner. That way, it'll be easier for us to visit Yaoyao." Lu Changxing continued. "If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible." Nangong Meili's purple dress was disheveled, her stunning, enchanting cheeks flushed red as rosy clouds, spreading to her earlobes, stunningly beautiful. "Meili is right," Lu Changxing said with a smile. Then he continued to embrace the alluring figure with curves forward and backward which were like a devil's temptation, saying in a low voice, "Meili, all these days I haven't been able to nurture your golden core. Now that I'm about to leave, let me nurture it for you once more." Nangong Meili felt this person's face was truly thick, saying nurture the golden core, was that not? Then before she could think more, Lu Changxing kissed her alluring red lips again. He could clearly feel that Nangong Meili's resistance now was somewhat lessened, only pushing symbolically a few times. Women are just like this. If you directly tell her such things, it's easy to provoke resentment. But as long as you make up a reason, give an excuse like "my pet can flip backward," even if she knows what's going to happen, she won't be that resistant. Sometimes she might even deceive herself. Moments later, Nangong Meili's phoenix eyes were bright with a few hints of affection. Her brows and eyes revealed a vividly charming allure, really making one's heart skip a beat, hard to extricate oneself, wanting to drown in her peerless beauty. Not here. Here is less than 100 miles from the 5 Poisons cult. If suddenly any cultivator passed by, the consequences would be unimaginable. Lu Changxing heard this, then immediately sought a temporary cave with Nangong Mili, setting up a formation. Doesn't this dog man have a cave heaven treasure? Nangong Mili knew that Lu Changxing possessed a cave heaven treasure, the two of them could clearly use it, but now his choice was such a cave. Could it be another deliberate act to belittle her? This dog of a man. Nangong Mili cursed in her heart. But at this moment, given the circumstances, she didn't say anything, subconsciously avoiding Lu Changxing's gaze, biting her juicy red lips tightly. Moments later, spring spread within the cave. Afterward. Lu Changxing looked at the limp and unmoving Nangong Mili on the dark golden tiger skin carpet. This five poisons cult's heavenly spider envoy, the renowned heavenly spider true man from Jin Kingdom, now had her jade face flushed like vibrant clouds, exhaling fragrant breaths with a gentle pant. Her elongated, clear phoenix eyes half open, half closed, were flowing with a charming allure. Her stunning face like a poppy flower core, enchantingly captivating, breathtakingly beautiful. Face, black hair, fragrant neck and collarbones were all dotted with fine sweat beads, making the semi-transparent purple gauze dress cling to the alluring, seductive, flawlessly curvy body, exuding a soul-captivating lethal allure. Mili, are you sure you don't want to consider coming to stay with me for a while in Jianghu country? Chapter 1440. This scoundrel of a man is always tormenting himself these days. If he goes to the Jianghu country, who knows how he's going to torment himself there. Even though she's not against Lu Changxing and wants to use him to nurture her superior grade gold core, she can't set aside her dignity. All right. Lu Changxing smiled gently and said with a tender voice, if you need anything, feel free to find me at By Lake Mountain. I will also visit you when I have the time. Although he had invited Nangong Mili to return to By Lake Mountain with him, he was worried she might really agree. What if Nangong Mili and Chu Qingyi met and ended up fighting? Nangong Mili responded as calmly as possible. But at this moment, her voice was indescribably coquettish and alluring, making Lu Changxing feel a surge of emotion for the beauty before him again. However, she had already been tormented by him for a long time and was unable to move, so it wasn't good to continue tormenting her. He simply embraced the beauty before him quietly, savoring the rare tranquility. Nangong Mili, embraced by Lu Changxing, felt a sudden surge of an inexplicable sense of security in her heart. It seemed like an unprecedented feeling of safety. After a while, once she regained some strength, Nangong Mili wanted to get up and push Lu Changxing away. But she didn't know why. She suddenly didn't want to disrupt this long-lost peace. Just like that, time slowly passed. The two quietly embraced each other. Nangong Mili slightly raised her delicate head, looking at Lu Changxing's handsome face. Suddenly she felt that this scoundrel might not be as heartlessly romantic. If their daughter didn't go to the Immortal Lotus sect, a family of 3 wouldn't be too bad. However, moments later, Nangong Mili noticed Lu Changxing starting to be cheeky again. She immediately snorted coldly, slapped his hand away, stood up, and slipped into a resplendent purple gown. Mili's beauty truly makes this husband lose control. Lu Changxing, unabashed, gazed at the beauty before him with admiration in his eyes. Lu Changxing, stop your sweet talking. Nangong Mili snorted coldly, but her heart swelled with a mix of sweetness and a hint of pride. This scoundrel has many wives and concubines, blessed with divine talent, yet he is utterly obsessed with her. But thinking that this scoundrel's affection seems directed at her body, she felt a bit annoyed. I am sincere. Lu Changxing laughed and didn't mind her attitude. Women, they like to say one thing when they mean another. Mili, I have something for you to see if you can refine and control it. Lu Changxing pondered slightly. Nangong Mili responded with surprise, curiosity, and a hint of delight. Is this scoundrel going to give her a gift? Whoosh whoosh whoosh, Lu Changxing flicked his finger and a black corpse bag beside him suddenly opened, unleashing a strong yin wind. A head appeared, its face black and rigid, eyes as dark as ink with no whites, hair messy and features terrifying. Nangong Mili recognized at once that this was some extraordinarily sinister corpse refinement, her flawless face filled with astonishment as she looked at Lu Changxing. She didn't know why he had such a demonic path corpse refinement artifact. Although she didn't practice corpse refinement, the 5 Poisons cult and the Heavenly Corpse sect had connections, so she knew a bit. Knowing the more powerful the corpse refinement, the greater the price of its creation. The refinement corpse before her seemed incomplete, merely a head. But the eerie and chilling face with its two black vortex-like pupils, resembling black holes, had an enchanting allure. Even at first glance she was somewhat affected. If an ordinary nascent soul cultivator faced this refinement corpse, they might directly fall under its influence, getting lost within. This is a corpse refinement I acquired in my early years, named Endless Guileful Head. Lu Changxing spoke, introducing the Endless Guileful Head to Nangong Meili. Earlier, due to the disturbance from old demon Jin Tian, he realized Nangong Meili's combat abilities were lacking. In the middle stage of core formation she might not be the weakest, but she was just mediocre, falling short to honor the title of Heavenly Spider Envoy of the Five Poisons cult. Hence, he considered offering the Endless Guileful Head to Nangong Meili. On one hand, this Endless Guileful Head doesn't have much effect with his current battle strength, and it's not convenient to use it in Jianghu country. On the other hand, Nangong Meili's methods are quite compatible with this Endless Guileful Head. As a Gu cultivator, when she battles others, she either resorts to ambushes or uses serpent poison over a long-term confrontation to find an opening. If she possesses the Endless Guileful Head, she can use the Endless Ghost Domain to interfere and affect opponents, thus better seizing opportunities. Furthermore, the Endless Guileful Head can refine other creatures into ghost slaves. Although these ghost slaves lack the divine skills and battle strength they had before death, they are fearless and difficult to deal with due to their brute bodies. With the current Dark Demon corpse, if she can refine the Jintian Old Demon into a ghost slave, encountering nascent soul cultivators like Jintian Old Demon would be without fear. Endless Guileful Head. Nangong Meili realized after Lu Changsheng's introduction that this Endless Guileful Head was even more formidable than she imagined. Its divine skills are mysterious and can easily interfere with core formation initial stage cultivators, while forming a ghost domain. Within the ghost domain, any creature will be eroded and gradually refined into a ghost slave. In the ghost domain, fighting opponents essentially places one in an unbeatable position. You plan to give me this refined corpse? Although gifting such a refined corpse is quite unromantic between men and women, but cultivators don't concern themselves with these things, especially demonic path cultivators. To Nangong Meili, this refined corpse is incredibly precious. If Lu Changxing offered it to the Heavenly Corpse sect, they may pay a hefty price to purchase it. Yet he is willing to give it directly to her. Yes, if you can refine this Endless Guileful Head, it can provide you with more self-preservation strength. Lu Changxing said with a smile. Accept it, otherwise I won't be at ease with you. Seeing Nangong Meili's expression of slight hesitation, Lu Changxing gently held her white jade-like hand and spoke softly. Nangong Meili's heart trembled, rising with an inexplicable feeling. With this Endless Guileful Head, you can later refine Jintian Old Demon into a ghost slave. In this way, as long as you don't encounter late-stage core formation cultivators, you will remain unafraid and I will be much more assured. Lu Changxing continued. Nangong Meili looked at Lu Changxing, who was handsome and elegant, with a body like an exiled immortal on earth, and her jade face showed a momentary daze. This treacherous man, supposedly a righteous cultivator, usually follows the righteous path, yet possesses such a terrifying refined corpse. Moreover, he speaks calmly of refining Jintian Old Demon into a ghost slave. Seeing this, perhaps this treacherous man isn't so. This treacherous man isn't a good person. Yet his demeanor oddly soothed Nangong Meili's heart, causing her to smile beautifully and say, "All right." Lu Changxing saw this woman smile at him for the first time, truly worthy of the captivating radiance. He then captured her rose petal-like lovely vermilion lips as if in a storm, tasting sweetness, seemingly wanting to consume the beauty entirely. Nangong Meili's alluring body trembled, instinctively pushing him away lightly. But as time passed, her jade arms gradually embraced the man's shoulders. At that moment, the cave presented an inexplicable and eerie scene. A young man, tall and handsome like an immortal, embracing a stunningly beautiful woman. The scene was as picturesque as a painting. Yet beside them, a black frightening head dangled with disheveled hair dancing wildly, stirring gusts of wind. After a long time of entanglement, Lu Changxing began to help Nangong Meili refine and master this Endless Guileful Head. Although gifted to her, controlling such a refined corpse is no easy task. One careless move might result in backlash. Fortunately, Nangong Meili has core formation cultivation, allowing her to barely control it. He'll go back for a while. After attempting the refinement, Nangong Meili spoke. To ensure safety, she prepared to return to the Five Poisons cult briefly to acquire some goo insects to assist her in controlling this endless guileful head. Chapter 1441, By Lake Mountain. By Yun Peak Back Mountain. Today Lu Lingxiao and Lu Qingshan are preparing for a sparring match. Although it's just a regular spar between brothers, the opportunity is rare. So, Lu Miaoyun called all the Lu family disciples at the late stage of qi refinement to watch the battle. This kind of combat can not only broaden their horizons, it can also motivate them to know there are always higher mountains to climb. Over the years, By Lake Mountain has developed rapidly. The surrounding family forces all regard the Lu family as the leader, leading to some Lu family disciples developing a bit of arrogance. Even though the Lu family pays great attention to this aspect, many things still need more experience. Teaching alone is not enough. I wonder how many rounds Lingxiao can last against Brother Qingshan. I heard Brother Qingshan was invincible among his peers at the Wenjian sect back in the day, truly amazing. It's a pity that Brother Qingshan didn't join the Heavenly Sword sect. Otherwise, families like the Jin family and the Sima family wouldn't dare oppose our Lu family. These Lu family disciples looked at the two tall, spirited young men not far away and whispered among themselves. Although Lu Lingxiao has impressive combat strength, his reputation is overshadowed by Lu Pinggan and Lu Wangshu. Even the Lu family disciples only know that this older brother and younger brother have exceptional talent and extraordinary strength, but not the details. Of course, even if they knew, they wouldn't think he is a match for Lu Qingshan. At this moment, Ling Zixiao arrived at the back mountain. She knows her son has outstanding talent, possessing part of the dragon roar physique, and under Hong Lian's guidance, his strength is not inferior to the core true inheritors of the immortal sects. But she is also well aware of Lu Qingshan's achievements. Not only did he rank first in the Jianghu sect sword trial, directly promoted to true inheritor, becoming a nascent soul seed. Back then he also defeated his peers at the Heavenly Sword sect in the sword trial. So she wanted to see the gap between her son and such top-tier talents. Beside her was a figure dressed in a luxurious red dress embroidered with gold edges, wearing a beaded crown, with a face enveloped in crystal mist, appearance indistinct, yet displaying unrivaled grace. Peach God. Lu Miaoge and Lu Miaoyun, Lu Miaohuan, and others immediately called out when they saw this figure. After reshaping her physical body and stabilizing her Dao foundation, Hong Lian abandoned her original Dao name and took the name Peachwood Spirit Womb, calling herself Peach God. This was partly because, in the cultivation world, there's a notion that a Dao name can influence a cultivator's fate and destiny in a mysterious way. Also, the events surrounding her previous demise were too mysterious and bizarre, and she worried that using her original Dao name might bring trouble when traveling outside in the future. Miaoge Miaoyun. Although Hong Lian's face and body were shrouded in a layer of mist, it was clear she still exuded an ethereal beauty and grace, her eyes like newly blooming peach blossoms, exuding saintliness and nobility. Mother Master. Greetings to Aunt. Greetings to Senior Peach God. Lu Lingxiao and other Lu family disciples also cupped their hands and bowed. Qingshan, this is Senior Peach God, our family's Dharma transmission, and also Lingxiao's master. At this point, Lu Miaoge introduced to Lu Qingshan. Most of the elder positions in the Lu family, along with their duties, are held and managed by the Lu family disciples. But above these, Lu Changxing established 4 independent positions: Inspector, Law Enforcer, Internal Affairs, and Dharma Transmission, held respectively by Lu Miaoge, Ling Zixiao, Lu Miaoyun, and Hong Lian. These 4 positions usually do not interfere with family affairs. But in Lu Changxing's absence, they have the authority to decide on family matters. Roles like Inspector and Law Enforcer, held by Lu Miaoge and Ling Zixiao, directly have law enforcement powers. Lu Qingshan looked at Hong Lian before him, his sword-like eyes slightly narrowed. As a sword cultivator, his spiritual sense was extremely sensitive. But he couldn't detect any qi mechanism from this senior peach god before him, as if she was just a simple woman. Yet, her flowing black hair and mysterious demeanor, pure and unstained, akin to one not belonging to this world, ethereal and transcendent, clearly could not be an ordinary woman. Greetings to Senior Peach God. Lu Qingshan immediately cupped his hands and bowed. But internally he couldn't help but think, wondering where his father found this family Dharma transmission. Even his own master and several core formation elders in the sect didn't possess such extraordinary temperament. Could this senior peach god before him actually be a nascent soul immortal? Hong Lian nodded with a smile. Despite an indescribable gracefulness and nobility in her demeanor, she also conveyed a feeling of spring warmth and floral fragrance. Since everyone is almost here, let's start. Lu Miaoge glanced at Lu Miaoyun and gently spoke. Beside her, Ling Zixiao lightly nodded. A compass appeared in her hand, activating the array patterns in the back mountain. Originally, this place could only withstand regular sparring by Foundation establishment cultivators. But as Lu family disciples gradually broke through Foundation establishment, many areas of Bai Lake Mountain were rebuilt. For instance, the array patterns were recarved on the back mountain, connecting to the Great Formation of Baiyun Peak. Once the formation operates at full power, unless a nascent soul cultivator takes action, it can withstand anything. It's finally starting. Seeing the situation, these Lu family disciples immediately cleared an open space, eyes full of expectation. Go, brother. Seeing this, Lu Lingyi clenched her little fists and waved them vigorously, cheering for her brother. Which brother are you cheering for? Lu Qingshan turned his head to look at Lu Lingyi, a faint smile on his face as he spoke. Ah. Stunned, Lu Lingyi then loudly said, both brothers go. Go, brother. Seeing this, Lu Qingxi beside Lu Qingzhu also immediately shouted, then added, both brothers go. Ha ha ha. Lu Qingshan laughed, thinking how interesting it was to have so many sisters at home. If little Bamboo often spent time with these sisters, she probably wouldn't be bored and might even become more lively. Then he walked to the center of the open ground, looked at Lu Lingxiao before him, and a confident yet gentle smile appeared on his lips. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know reports so we can fix it as soon as possible. You're tuning in to the Phantom Sword Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.